This is the mysterious Pangu Continent. While everyone else is still holed up in the safe zone, you have already surpassed the gods. All because you arrived 500 years early. Not only can you freely claim rare treasures, you also awaken alloy eyes that can inspect all things. At this moment, you howl at the sky in solitude. Who set me up on that blind date? Soft morning sunlight is perfect for sleeping. Knock, knock, knock. Bro, it's already 10. I even bought you breakfast. After finishing breakfast, you begin testing your newly awakened power alternate space. It is a space that can only hold you, but lets you observe the outside world. It can last 2 or 3 hours at most. Any longer, and mental exhaustion will knock you unconscious. The ability sounds incredibly impressive, but you have no idea what it is actually good for. Etheric psionic network established. 781,237,896 intelligent civilizations have been identified. Who's talking? You look around, thinking you imagined it. This is the Primordial Interstellar Alliance. 9th Era Civilization Selection. Pangu Continent is being generated. Earth's humans have been selected. 17 cities represent 17 branches of human civilization. They are being transported to Pangu Continent's safe zones. What the hell? Civilization selection? Inside alternate space, you are completely dumbfounded. The ground beneath you suddenly vanishes. Earth vanishes too. You are left floating in outer space. A famous quote flashes through your mind. This is one small step for me, and one giant leap for mankind. I'm the first person to enter space in the flesh. The truth is, Earth is gone, but I was left behind. Wait, what is that? Cities wrapped in what look like soap bubbles. 17 in total, flying rapidly in the same direction. Those cities are heading to the safe zone. Take me with you. I'm human too. You shout at the top of your lungs, but no one responds. After an unknown length of time, the cold voice sounds again. Attention, all civilization branches have reached their safe zones. Within the safe zones, time flows at only 1% of Pangu Continent's rate. Each civilization may vote to deactivate its safe zone and explore Pangu Continent. The 9th Era Civilization Selection now officially begins. In your despair, you quickly analyze the Alliance's purpose. To select the strongest civilization. Each city represents one civilization. Once a civilization achieves internal unity, its people can vote to deactivate the safe zone and officially enter Pangu Continent. Of course, they can also hide there forever. The cost is that while others develop for 100 years, you develop for only 1 year. That is basically self-extinction. But what does any of that have to do with me? Am I one man in one whole civilization? Then, the so-called Pangu Continent slowly appears in space. It is unimaginably vast, like an infinitely expanded version of Earth. You suddenly realize you are only tens of thousands of meters above the ground. Excitement surges through you. Can I still survive? You extend one finger out of alternate space. Affected by gravity, the bubble-like space begins a slow free fall. After an unknown length of time, your feet touch the ground. Solid land feels wonderful. Pangu Continent seems very different. The trees are 300 to 500 meters tall. The faint roars of beasts echo in the distance. How am I supposed to survive? I didn't even bring a knife. All I have is my phone. The cold voice sounds again, generating civilization milestones. System warning: an omitted civilization branch has been detected. Race human. Adding the 18th branch of human civilization. Current population 1. Civilization ID 781-18. Please remember your civilization ID. Congratulations! Your civilization has earned a unique milestone. First pioneer of the 9th era. Requirement: be the first civilization to leave its safe zone. It takes you a while to process it. The Alliance really treats you as an entire civilization. What a sick joke. Humanity could never reach a consensus without at least a decade of political struggle. Even being optimistic, deactivating the safe zone within 20 years would be a miracle. 1 year in the safe zone means a century will pass for me. I'll already be dead. Just then, the cold voice speaks again. Your civilization has earned the milestone reward Pioneer Eye. This ability displays information on most objects. One random person will receive the reward. Transmitting now. Branch 18 has only me. What's there to randomize? In an instant, a ray of light strikes your right eye. When you wake drenched in sweat, you discover a new ability called the Pioneer Eye. You instinctively scan the ground. An unremarkable weed. Toxic. Your digestive system cannot process it. Eat some if you want to experience the misery of constipation. The root of this unremarkable weed is rich in polysaccharides. It can be steeped in water to provide a small amount of energy. It also detoxifies and reduces inflammation. The flood of information nearly makes you faint. Then you look at your right hand. The right hand of an unremarkable man. Years of repetitive use have caused mild tendinitis. You have to admit, this ability is incredibly powerful. Does that mean I can survive? At least finding food won't be a problem. Determination fills your face. As long as I earn enough milestones, I can stack rewards until I become superhuman, then travel far enough to find a safe zone and lead humanity to greatness. But the next second, a python as thick as a barrel bursts from the river, a moderately powerful snake. It seems eager to turn you into feces. You are definitely no match for it. Your pupils widen. At the critical moment, you activate your ability, alternate space. The python lunges through empty air. It cannot understand why its plump meal suddenly vanished. It waits over an hour before finally slithering away. You cancel alternate space. Your clothes are completely soaked in sweat. Good thing it didn't wait in ambush, or I'd be dead. You pick up a brown snake scale from the ground. It is the size of your palm. It is as hard as iron. It might make a decent weapon. After some work, you make a simple axe. The Pioneer Eye reports a tool that vaguely resembles an axe. It marks its user's entry into the Stone Age. You carefully approach the river and inspect it. Ordinary mountain spring water. Drinking it directly carries a low risk of illness, but boiling it first is recommended. You scoop up some water and take a sip. It has a pure, natural sweetness. You shout inwardly, Interstellar Alliance, give me another milestone. I'm the first person to drink water on Pangu Continent. Unfortunately, no reward announcement follows. Annoyed, you look at your reflection, a dispirited man radiating confusion. The ridiculous description makes you laugh. First, I need to survive tonight. You gather some dry branches and pull up a few edible wild plants. There are also plenty of insects among them. The edible ones are rich in protein. When roasted, they taste like chicken. You continue onward. Suddenly, a faint light glimmers in the distance. What is that? You hold your breath, grip your snake scale axe, and cautiously advance several dozen meters. A decaying van rests atop a pile of rubble. Its tires are long gone. Why is there a vehicle here? A remnant left by an 8th-era civilization. Your civilization is in luck. You have already discovered a civilization ruin. My civilization has one person. Lucky, my ass. You peer inside the van. A broken skeleton lies within, about 1.4 meters tall. It does not look human. You instinctively want to leave. But you need the van to survive your first night. Forcing yourself to proceed, you bury the skeleton in a shallow depression. You pay your respects, then climb into the van. A cold notification immediately sounds. Your human civilization has discovered the ruins of an 8th-era civilization. Congratulations! You have earned a unique milestone, First Explorer of the 9th Era. Reward Explorer Eye. It can detect civilization ruins and possible treasures. One random person will receive the reward. Transmitting now. Another white light strikes your left eye with perfect accuracy. By the time you awaken, evening has arrived. Unique milestones are certainly easy to trigger right now. The problem is that they knock you unconscious. Luckily, you are inside the van. Being eaten by wildlife while unconscious would not be funny. Now, both your eyes have become titanium alloy hound eyes. You activate the Explorer Eye. Multicolored ores instantly fill your vision. Red indicates danger. Green indicates civilization ruins. Gold indicates treasure. What shocks you is that the entire ground is glowing green. At least one city-sized ruin lies buried below, with occasional flashes of gold and red. The vehicle you are sitting in is only a tiny fragment of the whole ruin. You get excited for a moment, then sigh. What good does that do me? Am I supposed to dig up a city with my bare hands? If a steaming bowl of beef noodles were placed beside all this treasure, I would choose the noodles without hesitation. Just thinking about them makes me drool. No, I have to stop thinking about food. Dragging your exhausted body, you begin setting up camp. Water and fire, shelter and food. All four essentials of survival are indispensable. Starting a fire with friction is far too troublesome, so you have no choice but to sacrifice your phone. With a soft pop, a flame symbolizing hope comes to life. You find a sheet of metal in the van and fold and grind it into a crude pot. You gather water, grass roots, and wild vegetables by the river and boil them in the metal pot. It is not very tasty. There is an indescribable bitterness. As the sun sets, you squat alone in the forest. Loneliness slowly washes over you. Good night, me. When you wake, the sun is already rising in the east. You slept dead, a mosquito biting you. So it wasn't a dream. You mutter unhappily as you slowly make your way along the valley. You find a metal can. It does not leak, so it can serve as a cup. Then you find another vehicle. It is broken. What a shame. Dangerous creature detected. A leopard-like beast growls threateningly at you. You hurl the metal can. Clang! The leopard jumps in fright and bolts away. Come back. I wanted leopard meat today. In truth, you were terrified. You had planned to use alternate space for a sneak attack, but somehow scared it away instead. You discover a gigantic man-eating flower. Its branches and leaves spread over 1,000 meters, and its main stalk rises a full 100 meters. a carnivorous flower possessing extraordinary power. Its fruit contains all the nutrients the human body needs. Unfortunately, you are nowhere near strong enough to fight it. Get too close, and you will become fertilizer. No wonder this place is filled with gold and red auras. They all come from one man-eating flower. Its fruit is the size of a soccer ball, and the scent is irresistible. My dear Interstellar Alliance, make it drop just one fruit, and I'll count out to you several times. You wait, but no fruit falls. What a stingy system. It won't even give me that. You find a red wild fruit weighing 40 grams, roughly the size of a peanut. The Pioneer Eye reports a nutritious, nameless fruit, non-toxic, with a mild flavor. No one else would eat it. Fine, I will. You are so hungry that taste no longer matters. The sun climbs high. If you find nothing else, you will have to eat roots and insects again. Deep in the valley, a large field of collapsed buildings glows green and gold. You have found the city ruins. You casually dig into the ground and immediately uncover a gold necklace. It weighs at least half a kilogram. I'll come back for it later. I can't afford to carry any extra weight right now. These ruins have stood here for centuries. Even vacuum-sealed canned food has rotted away. After wandering for a while, you choose the largest, most intact building. It looks like a shelter. There might actually be food inside. A heavy mechanical door can still be opened even without power. The code is 20,260,606. No way. Are these eyes really that powerful? You enter the number. Click. The metal door opens. Stale, decaying air rushes out. A black blur shoots straight at your head. Holy crap. You immediately activate alternate space. Looking closer, you see a spider the size of a basketball. It is about 2.5 years old. A little thing like you dares attack me? A spider is still an insect, and this one is big enough to eat. Driven mad by hunger, you charge out of alternate space and swing your snake scale axe with all your strength. 1 chop to chops. 3. The spider lies motionless on the floor. You gasp for breath. It shouldn't be poisonous after roasting, right? Without the shell and organs, there should be about 5 jin of meat. Is this really a spider? Those are clearly giant drumsticks. Then the system's dark humor strikes again. Your human civilization is the first to kill a high-tier extraordinary lifeform, infernal demon spider. Congratulations! You have earned a unique milestone. First Hunter of the 9th Era. Milestone reward storage space. Creates a portable storage dimension where time almost completely stops, perfectly preserving your spoils. Reward transmission in progress. What the hell? This spider is a high-tier extraordinary lifeform. Maybe after another 100 years of growth. I must have fought dirty, killing it in the ruins on only my 2nd day. Give me a combat ability for once. Another familiar ray of light appears and strikes your mind with perfect accuracy. It takes 2 hours for you to recover. Storage space differs from alternate space. It cannot hold conscious living creatures. At your current strength, it holds about 1 cubic meter. Not bad. You store the spider and head farther inside. This place is actually a data center. The server room is packed with machines resembling supercomputers. You reach an archive room on the lowest level. The records are printed on acid-free paper. The Pioneer Eye reports deciphering the civilization's writing. Decipherment will require some time. Farther ahead, rows of glass doors block the way. You knock on the thick glass. Is anyone there? Anyone? There are no survivors. Still, this data center is an excellent base. At least it is safer than sleeping outdoors. After comforting yourself, you return to yesterday's campsite and retrieve the fire. The round trip takes until afternoon. Time for a spider barbecue feast. The Pioneer Eye starts mocking you again. This infernal demon spider was only 1 day old, yet it died to a dishonorable sneak attack. Had it grown for several years, it might have become an exceptional extraordinary creature. Remove the venom glands and internal organs. All other parts are safe to eat. The eye-shaped pattern on its back has a subtle mental intimidation effect. You inspect a small sac flashing with red light. That should be the venom gland. You carefully place it in a metal box. Venom gland of an infernal demon spider. Contains a vicious neurotoxin, far beyond your ability to resist. What a useful treasure. You break off several of the spider's long legs and begin roasting them. They crackle over the fire. A strange odor mixes with the rich aroma of meat. You force yourself to take a bite. Why does it taste like beef? A warm current instantly surges through your stomach. Extraordinary lifeforms contain tremendous energy. One spider can feed you for at least 3 days. Amazing. Interstellar Alliance. Since I ate well today, I won't curse you. Give me a beautiful wife, and I'll become your most devoted fan. Since I'm already making demands, I might as well go further. She should be a goddess descended from heaven, with limitless combat power, and hopelessly obsessed with me. Boom! Dark clouds covered the sky. A golden bolt of lightning splits a giant tree in two. Heavy rain begins in an instant. You are grateful to have found shelter from the storm. In the dim firelight, you plan your next tasks. The venom gland can be used to make poison. I need to preserve it carefully. The hooks on the spider's legs can serve as needles for picking teeth or sewing clothes. As for the organs, they can be used as fishing bait. Suddenly, the cold notification sounds again. Attribute systems have been enabled for all lifeforms. Those possessing data inspection abilities may now use them. Higher lifeforms can observe the attributes of lower lifeforms. You decide to inspect yourself. An unremarkable human, currently using the Pioneer Eye after a full meal. Physique 5.4, Agility 4.5, Spirit 5.2, Extraordinary Level 1, Innate Abilities Alternate Space, Pioneer Eye, Explorer Eye, and Storage Space. Evaluation mediocre. He has not even begun the extraordinary path, yet possesses for innate abilities. Such a case is exceptionally rare. You rub your temples, thinking, my current strength is far too insignificant. Luckily, an entire civilization ruin lies beneath my feet. First, I'll get some sleep. Early the next morning, you eat a spider leg and begin scavenging through the wilderness. Before long, you follow a golden glow and find a storage crate. It holds about 1 cubic meter and will make a useful container. You find a vine 10 meters long. It is extremely tough and can be used as rope. You also find an axe weighing over 10 kilograms. Even though it is rusty, it is far deadlier than your snake scale axe. This is at least an S-grade weapon. Inside a collapsed house, you find a toolbox. The scissors and other tools should work after sharpening. Finally, you encounter a one-eyed wild wolf. It bares its teeth and snarls at you. The Pioneer Eye quickly identifies it, Pangu gray wolf, a widely distributed wild animal. An elderly wolf expelled from its pack due to age, disease and hunger leave it only days to live. Physique 4.2, Agility 6.8, Spirit 1.2, Extraordinary Level 0, Abilities none. You're not planning to eat me, are you? You swallow nervously and step forward with your axe. Your 3 main attributes aren't impressive. I'll kill you with one swing. Oh woo, what a huge wolf. The alpha wolf is actually trembling. It is afraid of dying. For some reason, you feel a trace of pity. After a brief hesitation, you toss it some of the spider's organs. The flesh of an extraordinary creature should fill you up. Follow me again, and I won't go easy on you. I really want to eat you, you know. You leave and head to the river. You turn the storage crate into a fish trap. You put in some spider organs, tie it securely with vines, and sink it underwater. Hopefully, tomorrow brings a huge catch. And so ends your 3rd day. Life has been so busy that you have no time for distracting thoughts. You soon drift into a deep sleep. A new day begins. Axe in hand, you head to the river at first light. If the fish trap proves successful, it could solve your food problem once and for all. Along the way, you practice the ancient art of scavenging. Cans and bottles, a broken semiconductor device, and even a backpack. You stuff everything into storage space. Then your luck suddenly explodes. A faint golden glow shines from the grass. What is that? A brown glass bottle rests inside a metal box. It contains dozens of small red pills. The Pioneer Eye provides information. Medicine containing trace extraordinary elements. It can strengthen the immune system and treat most bacterial infections. Although long expired, its packaging remains airtight, so it may still be effective. Ha ha ha. Jackpot. This is at least in CS our great treasure. Did feeding that wolf yesterday count as a good deed? Causing my luck to skyrocket. Good fortune comes in pairs. When you reach the fish trap by the river, splash, splash, the large crate is trembling slightly. There are definitely fish inside. You just do not know how many. You carefully scan your surroundings, wary of being dragged into the water, and then you notice it. Old wolf, are you hiding in the grass to ambush me? What an ungrateful beast. The old wolf seems to know it has been spotted and slowly emerges from the grass, wagging its filthy, oversized tail. It does not seem hostile, so you turn your attention to opening the fish trap. Good grief. More than a dozen fish of all sizes are thrashing inside. The largest weighs 5 or 6 jin. Delighted, you casually grab one and toss it to the tail-wagging old wolf. You place all the fish into storage space, then gut one of the larger fish and place the organs back in the trap. Hopefully, tomorrow brings another huge catch. A true fisherman never comes home empty-handed. Turning around, you see the filthy old wolf still wagging its tail. Has it abandoned all dignity? You cannot help evaluating it. A slightly foolish, somewhat scheming wolf desperate to survive. The description makes you laugh. I have a bottle of small red pills. I don't know whether they still work. You can be my test subject. Don't blame me. If you live, count yourself lucky. You take out one pill and mix it into the fish organs. The old wolf looks absolutely famished and devours everything into bites. With that done, you prepare to return and cook the fish. The old wolf keeps a safe distance and follows unhurriedly behind you. After thinking it over, you decide not to chase it away. You have been talking to yourself for 2 days. It is far too lonely. Only a girl could cure that loneliness. Back at the shelter, you light a fire and begin grilling fish. The old wolf paces outside, too afraid to enter. Fine, then. If you want to be a dog, I'll give you a chance. The fish is genuinely delicious, with a rich wild flavor. It only lacks seasoning. Tomorrow, you will search the ruins. A place this large must have salt somewhere. After finishing your meal, you put the leftovers into a battered container and hand it to the drooling old wolf. It cautiously licks the food a few times. Is this really food fit for a wolf? Then it wolfs down every last bite. You slowly and gently reach out your hand, muttering, "Don't bite me. If you do, I'll have to make wolf stew." At last, you successfully pet its furry head. It smells a little bad. Surprise appears in the old wolf's single eye. Being petted actually feels pretty good, and it begins enjoying it more and more, acting increasingly like a dog. Why is there no milestone for taming an animal? You look at the old wolf rolling on the ground. Extraordinary level 0. Then you understand. Apparently, only taming an extraordinary lifeform counts. The next day, unable to stand the old wolf's smell, you drag it into the river for a bath. Clothes make the man, and fur makes the wolf. Its health is visibly improving at an astonishing rate. The red pill must truly be working. An elderly Pangu gray wolf has formed a close bond with you. With proper care, it may live several more years. Woof, woof. It suddenly barks several times and flees like the wind. Looking closer, you see a gigantic crocodile nearly 10 meters long approaching silently. So much for loyalty. Still, its early warning has already helped enormously. An hour later, after the crocodile leaves, you finally exit alternate space. You find the smug old wolf hiding in the grass. Pleasure doing business with you. With the old wolf guiding you, you spend a week conducting a basic survey and roughly map the creatures within 50 kilometers. The strongest boss-level creature is undoubtedly the gigantic man-eating flower. It stands at the top of the local food chain. Its entire attribute panel is nothing but question marks. The surrounding region also contains a king snake, a sky scorpion, a fish head monster, a fire lizard, and a poison phoenix. 5 mini-bosses in total. I killed this region's most promising infernal demon spider, yet small fry still bully me. Life at the bottom is rough. Still, you have not neglected your main occupation this week. You diligently collect plenty of useful junk. Your first major discovery is a large field of crops resembling potatoes and pumpkins. Their tubers contain large amounts of carbohydrates, making them an excellent staple food. There is also a plant resembling a breadfruit tree. The inside of its fruit is practically ready-made flour. Your long-term food problem is mostly solved. Sometimes, standing atop the towering ruins, you wonder where you will be 100 years from now. Even with the old wolf beside you, you feel increasingly lonely. Later, you begin training obsessively. The loneliness is unbearable. Ever since securing a stable food supply, your thoughts have only grown more complicated. Only becoming superhuman can soothe your lonely heart. 1 week later, the superhuman plan ends because your knees hurt. Suddenly, you hear a series of howls. Stepping outside, you are left completely stunned. The old wolf has somehow found a female wolf. Who the hell is this? Your girlfriend? You crouch down for a closer look. It really is a female wolf. Pretty girl, come let me pet you. Attention, the great pioneer has deciphered the writing of the Meta civilization. You may now read this civilization's records. Your heart skips a beat. You hurry into the data center and begin reading the acid-free paper archives. This one is a government work report. After your city of the Meta civilization reached its safe zone, resources became scarce, and many supplies were difficult to replenish. The next paper, when will we finally deactivate the safe zone? Our Meta civilization has remained in the safe zone for 50 years. 5,000 years have already passed outside. The next article, our Meta civilization has spent a full 70 years in the safe zone. The outside world has changed beyond recognition. By the entry from year 300, the Meta civilization still had not departed. Outside on Pangu Continent, 30,000 years had passed. As time went on, Pangu Continent grew increasingly dangerous. Terrifying disasters occurred frequently. We witnessed a city in the sky fall. Even the super civilizations outside could eventually perish. The safe zone is unaffected by disasters. What ending awaits us? You take a deep breath. Would the Interstellar Alliance really allow millions of civilizations to survive forever? There is no point worrying about that now. You have spent almost 15 days on Pangu Continent, but only 3.6 hours have passed in the safe zone. Just focus on living your own life. Next, you find another highly useful article. What do the three stats physique, perception, and spirit represent? According to Meta civilization statistics, the chance of awakening an innate ability is 1 in 10, while only about 1 in 100,000 awaken an inspection ability. My Pioneer Eye is a 1 in 100,000 ability. It really is incredibly powerful. No wonder it calls itself the Great Pioneer Eye. Back to the subject. The paper argues that physique represents bodily strength, while perception measures awareness of the outside world. Spirit is the most complicated. The simplest explanation is the soul. No wonder the old wolf senses danger better than I do. That actually makes sense. A woo! A woo! After eating, the old wolf bounds over playfully. Go away. I'm doing serious work. You are completely absorbed in reading and have no time to entertain the old wolf. The sixth branch of the Meta civilization, after 300 years of safe zone development, had soldiers reaching extraordinary level 3. Their three main attributes were around 18. You do not know how powerful level 3 truly is, but you clearly understand that you must begin the extraordinary path soon. This is the most valuable pioneering period. Whether unique milestones, extraordinary creatures that have not yet matured, or all kinds of rare natural treasures, everything is still relatively easy to obtain. Another week passes. You remain anxious and busy, transforming into a model student. You never studied this hard even for the college entrance exam. Meanwhile, the hopeless student, Old Wolf, changes girlfriends every day. One pretty female wolf after another comes for a free meal, and then refuses to leave. Today, the old wolf brings back a pheasant. You swiftly drain its blood and make a rustic beggar's chicken. Delicious. How long has it been since I had fried chicken? That day, you finally find what you have been searching for. Origins of the extraordinary. Dogger City currently has around 1.05 million natural awakeners, but only a tiny number can cultivate directly. Everyone else requires an extraordinary spark to continue advancing. Unfortunately, we learned this far too late. Extraordinary spark. Your heart sinks. I don't have one either. You continue reading. It was later discovered that extraordinary sparks can also appear within wild monsters. Such monsters are all exceptionally powerful. You stand frozen for a long moment. What a shame that the infernal demon spider was too young to have formed an extraordinary spark. If heaven gave me another chance, I would still kill it. Now, you must hunt a monster possessing an extraordinary spark and use it to continue cultivating. The boss level man-eating flower is not an option. That thing is far too powerful. After careful consideration, you set your sights on the fire lizard. This monster lives alone, so you will not have to deal with an army of underlings. Sometimes the minions are worse than the boss, but fighting an extraordinary monster with a mortal body will be extremely difficult. Even if you found guns and ammunition, they would be unusable after so many years. Naturally, the best method is a trap. This pit is large enough to hold an elephant. You sharpen rebar from the ruins into spikes. Then take out the spider venom gland you have carefully preserved. It came from the high-tier ruin guardian, the infernal demon spider. Hopefully, it can kill the target outright. 2 months of preparation quietly pass. I've been here for 100 days. I think I'm slowly adapting to life here. Humanity, what happened during your single day? Great Interstellar Alliance, please bless me. If I lose today, I'll become a pile of lizard droppings. Carrying a backpack full of weapons, you drag a 50 gin fish toward the distance. After walking for over 2 hours, you reach the valley where the fire lizard lives. The old wolf and several females refuse to move closer. Their fur stands on end. This is the absolute suppression of a higher lifeform over lower ones. You dump the fish upwind. It is sure to smell the fish. I know the spider venom will not kill you easily. Let us have a true battle. The fire lizard seems to be asleep. You wait over an hour before it slowly crawls out of the cave. I'm really going to fight that thing, one-on-one. The fire lizard is ultimately unintelligent. It comes forward and swallows the fish in one bite, then waddles back into its cave. As you wait, another possibility begins to worry you. Could it already be dead? When a creature possessing an extraordinary spark dies, the spark gradually dissipates over time. Suddenly, an earth-shaking roar erupts. The massive beast, weighing over 10 tons, thrashes violently inside the cave. Your heartbeat instantly accelerates, and your pupils contract. The Pioneer Eye provides information. A powerful lizard-type extraordinary lifeform. It appears to have been afflicted by a potent toxin, but the poison is clearly unable to kill it. Do you truly intend to challenge it? You may disappear from this world tomorrow. I have no choice but to challenge it. My passion is fading with each passing day. I need to reclaim the courage of humanity. You roar toward the cave entrance. Come on, come eat your grandpa. Already tormented by agonizing stomach pain, the fire lizard flies into a rage and shifts its hatred to you. Each of its steps covers more than 10 meters, radiating murderous violence. Every hair on your body stands on end. So I really am afraid of dying? Ha ha ha. You spin around and begin the fastest sprint of your life, but your speed is no match for the fire lizard. You deliberately weave between the rocks. Boom, boom, boom. The beast behind you smashes them aside like foam. A woo! The old wolf howls in the distance. Seeing its master hunted down has driven it frantic. The prolonged sprint begins draining your strength. Am I going to die? Is this where it ends? The trap is still some distance away, and you are about to be crushed. At that moment, you hear another wolf howl. It is the old wolf. It finally gathers the courage to charge in. The female wolves also roar wildly from behind. That is a blatant provocation. The old wolf is intelligent. It knows exactly where the trap is, so it pushes its aging body forward to take over the final stretch. Don't die. I'll hide for a moment. Your nose stings with emotion. You accept the old wolf's kindness and immediately activate alternate space. The fire lizard sees the hateful target vanish. Naturally, its hatred shifts to the old wolf. The old wolf is terrified too, fleeing in complete panic and literally scaring the waste out of itself. Fortunately, the distance is short. It soon reaches the edge of the trap. The fire lizard charges in. Like a runaway dump truck, a miserable wolf howl rings out. The old wolf is hurled over 10 meters. The fire lizard crashes into the pit with a thunderous boom. The giant rocks suspended above the trap come crashing down one after another, smashing it until golden fluid sprays everywhere. You immediately cancel alternate space and charge forward with your rebar spear. The explorer eye provides a warning. A lizard-type extraordinary lifeform with head trauma and poisoning. However, its vitality remains extremely strong, and its wounds are slowly closing. The next second, you stare at the rebar spear gripped tightly in your hands. A life of less than 30 years has passed like a fleeting dream. All who are born must one day die. You leap into the air. Lend me your spark. You land directly on the fire lizard's enormous body and drive the spear into its eye. The fire lizard thrashes in mindless agony. The next instant, a fireball like a fuel air explosion erupts into the sky. It is the fire lizard's flame-breathing skill. The searing flames melt stone into magma. Flame breath is the fire lizard's ultimate attack. It consumes enormous energy and cannot be sustained for long. Fortunately, it misses you. That was close. You entered alternate space immediately, so you suffered no real injury. The only lasting damage is to the fire lizard's scorched and injured left eye. The spear carries venom, and the eye is closer to the brain, so the poison spreads faster. The enraged fire lizard exhausts its entire fuel reserve, then its body suddenly comes rolling toward you. It is a death roll. The fire lizard intends to use its body weight to crush you alive. Alternate space. The giant beast's body overlaps directly with your dimension, but alternate space has limits. Activating it repeatedly within a short time consumes far more mental energy. This cycle repeats several times. You cancel alternate space and launch another sneak attack. It stops moving. It is exhausted. The prolonged violent exertion allows the spider venom to invade its nervous system, draining the giant beast's vitality. But repeated use of alternate space has also pushed you to your limit. You collapse to the ground, your vision begins to blur, and your entire body burns with pain. You cannot even tell where you are injured. Through the haze, you see the old wolf in the distance, dragging itself with its front legs. It slowly crawls out of the bushes. Old friend, if you're still alive, I can't die either. When we get back, I'll treat you to a feast. You pull out the little spider meat you have left and chew it dry. By the time dawn arrives, the giant beast lies completely motionless. Ha ha ha, what a victory! You burst into laughter. Even though you have no strength left, you still raise both arms to welcome the sunlight. The long-absent cold voice sounds beside your ear. Congratulations! Unique milestone earned, Cross-Realm Hunter. You are the first intelligent life form of the 9th era to cross 5 extraordinary levels and single-handedly kill an extraordinary creature. Reward eternal body. You are now utterly exhausted, too tired to hear even the reward description. You merely walk toward the extraordinary spark released by the fire lizard. When you awaken, several female wolves are licking you. They did not eat their master. Good. You all stayed here to guard me. Thank you. A woo. The old wolf limps over. You glance at it. An elderly Pangu gray wolf with 2 broken ribs. It has suffered such severe injuries. Surely you will not leave it untreated. You check its condition. Its mind is still clear. You won't die. You owe me your life, old friend. Meanwhile, its several mates stare blankly at the fire lizard's corpse, then turn to look at you. Their eyes are filled with awe. A smile appears on your face, because you can already feel the extraordinary spark dancing in your mind, along with the milestone reward. Eternal body. Jackpot. The extraordinary spark needs little explanation. It grants you the ability to cultivate, allowing your 3 attributes to surpass human limits. Eternal body is even more powerful. It greatly increases your lifespan, grants minor limb regeneration, and prevents aging until the end of your natural life. While you rest, the explorer eye detects something inside the cave, an intense golden glow. Could the fire lizard's lair contain treasure? In the safe zones, 17 human cities have experienced only a single day, yet society is already descending into chaos. The internet is down, the power grid is down, even the water supply has stopped. Some people hide in their homes, while others begin looting supermarkets. In the face of disaster, everyone makes a different choice. Some young couples even make passionate confessions, and marriage offices suddenly fill with long lines. The Yunhai city government will fully protect the people's lawful rights and severely punish all crimes. Loudspeakers broadcast through every corner of the city. It is a battle between humanity's light and darkness. Many civilization branches suddenly collapse into apocalyptic revelry. Yunhai City lies in a remote corner of Pangu Continent, beside a large lake. Reports pour into the conference room. The power grid is still being restored. The power plant has limited coal reserves, enough for roughly 10 days. We must conserve electricity. With factories shut down, demand should be low. The granaries in major logistics centers are under control. With careful rationing, food for 10 million people should last about 1 year. Basic network communications have been restored. This emergency meeting is called the Yunhai Survival Conference. Yunhai City's top official, Li Chunhong, is completely overwhelmed, but still makes time to visit the Paranormal Research Institute. Mr. Li, this is the meteorite that fell from the sky. It has been at our research center for 10 years. 10 years ago, falling meteorites created large numbers of superpowered individuals. Governments around the world all chose to conceal the truth. Zhang Hui, the institute's director, delivers the report. This spherical meteorite is about 2 meters in diameter and weighs roughly 2 tons. It has 20 screens and several objects resembling buttons. More than 300 such meteorites fell worldwide, scattered across the globe. Yet only 17 cities were transported here. Zhang Hui presses several buttons on the metal sphere. A video call interface unexpectedly appears. Human Civilization Branch 1 requests communication. Human Civilization Branch 6. Connection established. Professor Zhang, my God, you were transported here too? Edward, a renowned paranormal researcher, appears on screen. Mr. Edward, how are things over there? Has chaos broken out? Edward shrugs helplessly. Everything here is in chaos. Fortunately, the military is protecting us. Otherwise, looters would already be inside my home. Li Chunhong nearly loses her composure. A strange joy rises within her. The best news she has heard today is that other humans are in even greater chaos. My friends, take care of yourselves. The cities are separated by more than 10,000 kilometers. We cannot help one another. We can only share information. Professor Edward continues. Around the edges of every city in a safe zone, and extending 50,000 meters upward, a thin curtain of light is visible, protecting us. Professor Zhang Hui interrupts to add something. Many substances can actually cross the safe zone barrier in molecular form, such as water and oxygen, as well as carbon dioxide. Time on Pangu Continent flows 100 times faster than inside the safe zones. Only a public vote to deactivate the safe zone will make the light curtain disappear. Mayor Li Chunhong understands and nods gently. What dangers exist on Pangu Continent? Can everyone share what they know? More civilization branches gradually join the discussion. Because time outside moves 100 times faster, observing Pangu Continent from a safe zone is like watching a fast-forwarded film. We have observed many ordinary plants and animals across Pangu Continent, but also a small number of extraordinary species. We recorded a vast black cloud blotting out the sky, shaped like a skull staring at the safe zone. Did any city bring nuclear weapons? No one answers the question. Did we bring any? Li Chunhong asks quietly. A military officer answers, no, we only have conventional weapons. If we secured an oil field on Pangu Continent, could we build one? Not with Yunhai City's current industrial capacity. My friends, if any city really deactivates its safe zone through a public vote, please share what happens. We also want to know whether the roaming monsters will attack. At that moment, one of the screens on the Institute's spherical meteorite suddenly lights up. A large amount of information appears. Civilization Support Management Device restarting. Current location, 9th era of Pangu Continent. Searching for displayable civilization milestones. 1. End the chaos. Become a stable civilization. 2. Static crackles from the device. 3. Deactivate the safe zone. Advance into Pangu Continent. Unknown interference has damaged the database. Unable to retrieve all records. Everyone is dumbfounded. What are civilization milestones? Have all 8 previous eras already perished? Zhang Hui says, unfortunately, we do not know. There are also some support functions on this panel. Let us inspect them. Scanning Human Civilization Branch 1. Yunhai City. Total population, 10,891,271. Innate ability users, 846,300. Extraordinary spark holders 3. Abundance rating 132. Technology level unknown. Votes to deactivate the safe zone 9.78%. Civilization level 1. Every leader in the room feels the chill. In Yunhai City, 9.78% of the population has already quietly voted to remove the safe zone. If there is nothing else, we should leave. Just as everyone prepares to adjourn, an 8th era civilization is detected. The Meta civilization requests contact with human civilization. An 8th era civilization. Shock appears on Professor Zhang's face, followed by confusion. An alien civilization is contacting us. Then something even stranger happens. The face of a human man appears on the screen. The man mutters, "What is this thing?" A civilization support management device. Can it contact humanity? Contact humanity for me. Hurry up. The man seems to be inside a dark air raid shelter. Why isn't the screen lighting up? It stinks in here. That filthy fire lizard actually defecated inside its lair. What horrible hygiene. Professor Zhang Hua's eyes nearly pop out. Who is this man? A citizen of the Meta civilization, and he speaks our language. Li Chunhong feels her blood pressure rising. Professor Zhang, could someone be playing a prank and have hacked this device? Sweat covers Professor Zhang's forehead. I'll verify it, but this is alien technology. Could anyone really hack it? The man on the screen continues talking to himself. The screen still won't turn on. I thought this was some amazing treasure, but it turns out to be junk. Is that a clock? At least it has some use. I won't have to track the days myself anymore. Before long, the man digs a fiery red crystal from underground. The fire lizard was so powerful. Of course it had treasure. Ha ha ha. Now I've really struck it rich. With this, I can cultivate my extraordinary spark much faster. Li Chunhong takes a blood pressure pill. Do not disclose this. Keep it strictly confidential. Professor Zhang, can you try communicating with him? I'm trying. Hello, sir from the Meta civilization. Can you hear me? After calling out for a long time, Zhang Hui considers a possibility. Could the screen on his side be broken? While he continues talking to himself, the man on screen pushes the metal sphere and mutters, "It really seems to transmit only. It cannot receive anything. At least it is solar powered. I'll charge it fully and try again." Click. The image disappears. Don't turn it off. We still want to watch. Zhang Hui shouts involuntarily in excitement, leaving everyone staring at one another. Inside a cave somewhere on Pangu Continent, you stand at the entrance. You frown. This place does not look natural. You raise your hand and scan it with the pioneer eye. The next second, golden text appears, suspected Meta civil defense facility. Later occupied by an extraordinary creature. You freeze for a moment, then your eyes light up. An air raid shelter in civilization ruin. What are you waiting for? You drag your exhausted body inside. A broken metal door lies across the floor. You try lifting it, but it does not move at all. Good grief. It is both hard and heavy. You pat the door. I'll leave you here and collect you another day. Farther inside, over 100 bundles of foul-smelling fabric fill a corner. You pinch your nose. It smells awful, but after washing, it could become clothing. It could also make mosquito nets. You continue forward, then suddenly stop. Golden light erupts. Metal is scattered everywhere, gold, silver, and all kinds of ore. Most striking are the gold bars, stacked into small mountains. You bend down and lift one. It weighs about 10 kilograms. Staring at the floor covered in gold, the corner of your mouth twitches. Dozens of tons would be worth billions back on Earth. You remain silent for 2 seconds, then sneer. If only this had the slightest practical use, it would not be completely useless. It cannot buy medicine here, or food, or another life. Still, it feels incredibly satisfying. You kick one of the gold bars. Stay here. Once I build a civilization, you will become its national treasury. The pioneer eye continues identifying materials. Fluorite. Fluorine can be extracted from it. You raise an eyebrow. Could it make toothpaste? Phosphorescent ore. Releases energy and light when heated. I don't understand this stuff. Someone else can deal with it. You continue deeper inside. Soon, a large metal sphere appears before you. Rings of crystal screens are embedded across its surface. It is clearly no ordinary object. You place your hand on it. The pioneer eye displays a notification. Tier for Advanced Civilization Support Management Device. Can analyze a civilization's population and resources, and possesses long-range communication functions. Some functions were damaged after years of abuse by the fire lizard. Your eyes widen sharply. Long-range communication. Can it contact humanity? You immediately rush over and begin pressing buttons. Several lights flash twice, and static crackles from the speaker. Suppressing your excitement, you shout at the sphere. Hello, human civilization. can you hear me? My name is Chen Fan. Contact humanity for me, now? After thinking briefly, you quickly enter ID 781-18. That should be it. 1 second becomes 2, then a full minute passes. The screen remains dark. The excitement slowly drains from your face. You drop to the floor. No expectations means no disappointment. A moment later, you stand again. No, just because I cannot make contact now does not mean I never will. This metal sphere belongs to me now. Following the explorer's eye's golden glow, you reach the deepest part of the cave. The golden light is strongest here. You swing your axe and begin digging. Once, twice, 3 times clang. A fiery red crystal rolls out. It is the size of your palm, like a flame frozen solid. You reach out and grab it. A notification appears. Crimson Spirit Crystal can absorb and purify energy, then slowly release spiritual power, can nurture an extraordinary spark, and accelerate cultivation. Quality B+. You stare at the crystal, grinning broadly. I knew such a strong glow meant a jackpot. This really is a major treasure. You raise the crystal before your eyes. I just ignited my extraordinary spark, and Pangu Continent already gives me cultivation resources. You're finally showing some consideration. You carefully store the Crimson Spirit Crystal and scan the area again. The golden glow is gone. That means you have collected all the treasure. You turn and walk toward the cave entrance. The fire lizard's remains lie in the distance. Massive and charred, still radiating faint heat. The pioneer eye displays information, extraordinary life form. Fire lizard, deceased, affected by neurotoxin. The corpse is already decomposing. Most of its flesh will lose all value within 1 day. Your expression darkens. There is little time. I need to process it immediately. You grab your axe and rush over. The scales, hide, and flesh must all be collected. The old wolf lies nearby, watching you despite its broken ribs. You glance at it. Stop staring, old friend. You are the hero today. The old wolf gives a low whine. You continue harvesting materials. Soon, you dig out a pile of stone-like lumps. Fuel crystals condensed, aged fire lizard fuel. Burning temperature can reach 3000 degrees Celsius. A peanut-sized crystal can burn for an entire day. Your eyes light up. This is useful. It can fuel fires, smelt metal, and forge weapons. You load more than 300 fuel crystals into a plastic bucket. Then you find 2 strong back tendons and 4 leg tendons. They can be used to make bows and ballasty. Let's see who dares charge my camp after that. Next, you cut open its back. The flesh is clean and uncontaminated by poison. A large section of tenderloin is exposed. You swallow. Now this is a real feast. You cut off a large piece and toss it to the old wolf. The first piece is yours. We won this battle because of you. The old wolf's eye grows wet. It bites into the meat and devours it greedily. You point at it and laugh. I get 99% as the top contributor. You get 1% as the second contributor. Do not complain. Rules are rules. The old wolf does not understand, but its tail wags anyway. The female wolves gather around too, staring at you eagerly. You cut off more meat. There is enough for everyone. No one will be left out. The female wolves eat until their bellies are round. You cut to slices for yourself and swallow them raw. The taste is ordinary, even slightly fishy. But the next second, warmth explodes from your stomach. Your whole body jolts. This is far better than spider meat. At least twice as effective. You clench your fist. The flesh of extraordinary creatures truly is priceless. After eating, you continue working. You do not stop for the entire day. The axe grows blunt. Your palms split open. Your shoulders ache as if they might break. But you dare not stop. The corpse will rot, and wild beasts may come. These spoils were purchased with your life. By evening, storage space is completely full. Only then do you return home, fully satisfied. Although exhausted, you cannot suppress your grin. We won. We survived. The female wolves raise their heads and howl. You join them with a howl of your own. The sound explodes across the wilderness. At last, you return to camp. The metal door opens. The old wolf collapses onto a pile of dry grass in the corner, its tail still wagging. You sigh in relief. Good. You can still wag your tail. The next second, you collapse as well. Thud. You lie motionless on the floor. Your adrenaline is gone, and your strength is completely spent. A few minutes later, you force yourself upright. No, I'm covered in fire lizard blood and slime. I cannot sleep like this. You drag yourself outside to wash. The cold water hits you, and you shiver violently. When you return, your forehead begins burning. Your expression changes. Seriously, I'm getting sick now. You feed the female wolf several pieces of lizard meat and point outside. If anything moves tonight, bark loudly. The female wolves wag their tails. Thank goodness I have you. You cannot speak and are not very clever, but you can be trusted when it matters. You close the metal door, swallow one of the small red pills, and collapse onto the grass bed. Just 1 night's sleep. You close your eyes and immediately black out. You sleep as if the world has vanished. from the creation of Pangu until the end of existence. When you awaken, the sun is already high in the sky. Your first reaction is to check the old wolf. It is still alive, and its breathing is steady. You sigh in relief. Good, you're fine. Then you touch your own forehead. Your throat hurts, and your whole body aches. You immediately inspect yourself. Condition influenza, early stage. You freeze for a moment, then pat your chest in relief. Thank goodness it is only the flu. The next second, you abruptly sit up. Wait, there are no hospitals, doctors, or fever reducers here. Your face darkens. In a place like this, even a poorly treated illness could kill you. The attribute panel appears. Extraordinary Level 1. Abilities: Alternate Space, Pioneer Eye, Explorer Eye, Storage Space, Extraordinary Spark, and Eternal Body. Evaluation: For unknown reasons, this unremarkable human possesses 6 abilities. Regardless, he remains a complete novice. You sneer. Still talking tough? I have plenty of abilities. Admit that you're impressed, but this is no time for arguing. You take out another small red pill and swallow it. It strengthens the immune system, so it should help somewhat. But that is not enough. You close your eyes. Deep in your mind, a tiny red flame flickers. The extraordinary spark is warm but faint. You immediately mobilize it, guiding its power through your respiratory system to burn the virus and nourish your cells. Time passes slowly. 1 hour, 2 hours. You suddenly open your eyes, your body drenched in sweat. Most of the headache is gone, and your breathing is clear again. You sit up and smile. Incredible. The flu was suppressed in less than half a day. You clench your fist. No wonder only those who ignite an extraordinary spark dare explore Pangu Continent. Without one, a single illness could bring anyone down. Next, you turn your attention to your new ability, Eternal Body. You raise a hand and inspect your palm, then look over your arm. A passive ability cannot be activated manually. Fine. You had better truly be useful. The Pioneer Eye explains greatly increases lifespan, grants the ability to regenerate limbs. Physical condition permanently remains at its peak. No aging before the end of one's natural lifespan. You freeze. No aging. Always in peak condition. What is the biggest weakness of the human body? Improvement is slow, but decline is fast. Skip training for 1 day, and your movements grow rusty. Skip 2, and your condition begins deteriorating. But you are different now. Once you improve, you can maintain it indefinitely. You clench your fist, your eyes shining intensely. In other words, if I push myself hard enough, I will eventually become superhuman. You stand and roll your shoulders. Your body is still somewhat weak, but you can feel it gradually returning to peak condition. You touch your face. Does that mean my looks are locked in too? I'm only 24. I'm still fairly handsome, right? You check your reflection in a metal sheet. Not bad. Even if I live to be 1,000, I won't end up looking like tree bark. You grin. This ability is excellent. But the next second, you remember a cruel reality. This is Pangu Continent. I am completely alone. No women, no cities, not even anyone capable of holding a normal conversation. You look toward the old wolf beside the bed. The old wolf raises its head and looks back. You remain silent. So does the wolf. You sigh. Forget it. There is no point telling you. The old wolf lets out a soft whine. You don't understand the pain of an adult man. You grumble a few more words, venting all your resentment at the empty air. A moment later, you refocus. The brain is also part of the body. Does that mean I will forget knowledge more slowly too? You narrow your eyes. If that is true, this ability does more than preserve my life. It will let me keep growing stronger forever. You pat your chest. Interstellar Alliance, you gave me something good this time. But speaking of that, why do you always give me support abilities? Not a single offensive ability. You point angrily at the ceiling. I seized the extraordinary spark myself. That had nothing to do with you. The old wolf looks at you again. Stop staring. I'm reasoning with the one above, though it probably is not listening. Over the next few days, you do nothing but eat, drink, relieve yourself, and lie down. Winning against the fire lizard felt incredible, but the cost was enormous. Your stamina was completely drained. Your vitality was exhausted. Your body felt as if it had been blown apart. Whenever you wake, you eat a little fire lizard meat. Use the extraordinary spark to nourish your body, then go back to sleep. The wolves guard the outside, while the old wolf recuperates indoors. You check on it every day and place meat beside its mouth. Once you recover, you will still be my #1 general. The old wolf eats the meat. You watch and nod. Good. You still have fighting spirit, nor have you been completely idle. You read through records left by the Meta civilization, focusing on cultivation. Excess background information is pointless. For now, only 2 things matter: growing stronger and surviving. By the 7th day, you can no longer remain in bed. You throw off the grass mat and sit upright. Today, cultivation officially begins. Listen up. Your king is about to evolve. You sit cross-legged and quickly focus your mind. The tiny flame flickers gently, as though responding to you. The Meta records explain it clearly. The extraordinary spark has one core function: enhancing physique, perception, and spirit. Once the spark grows powerful, it can release ionic energy and develop various offensive techniques. Therefore, the Meta civilization called it civilization's foremost ability, not because it was the strongest, but because it could be passed down, allowing an entire civilization to grow stronger together. After reading this, you can only shrug. Unfortunately, Human Branch 18 currently has only me. Whether it can be spread to others has little relevance. First, I need to become stronger myself. At this moment, you are in a good mood. Although you were thrown onto Pangu Continent alone, the situation was not completely hopeless. You landed near civilization ruins, with useful junk to scavenge, wolves to command, a fire lizard to kill, and milestone rewards to earn. You take out the Crimson Spirit Crystal. The moment it appears, the spark in your mind flashes. Your gaze sharpens. Here it comes. Energy flows from the crystal like an invisible current, entering your body and surging toward your mind. You nearly laugh aloud. Isn't this an energy crystal left by the Meta civilization? Exactly. The cultivation methods of the wealthy truly are simple. Without the Crimson Spirit Crystal, cultivation would normally proceed very slowly. The Meta civilization developed many techniques, such as interstellar energy resonance and interstellar energy guidance. They all sound highly professional. But with the Crimson Spirit Crystal, I need none of that. It practically places the answer in my hands. Techniques are certainly useful, but resources are even more powerful. 2 hours later, you suddenly feel full, not in your stomach, but within the spark. You immediately stop cultivating. Do not be greedy. The energy must be digested. You open your eyes and inspect your attributes. Your eyes instantly light up. All attributes increased by 0.1. The Crimson Spirit Crystal still contains plenty of energy. It is nowhere near depleted. Your grin grows uncontrollably. This is not just empty talk. The numbers on the panel are truly rising. You stand and move your arms. The change is not especially obvious, but your body feels steadier, your breathing smoother, and your mind lighter. You look at the old wolf. See that? Your king has grown stronger again. The old wolf wags its tail. You nod. Excellent. You think I'm impressive too. As the sun begins to set, you crouch on the ground and mark the days with a stick. One stroke after another, tally marks cover the ground. What day is it now? Day 105 or 106? Time is beginning to blur. This is not a small problem. When living alone in the wilderness, the greatest fear is not hardship, but being buried by time. Today, tomorrow, and the next day all become identical. Eventually, a person's mind falls apart. No, I need an accurate clock. I cannot even forget my own age. That thought immediately reminds you of the large metal sphere. The civilization support management device. Although some functions are broken, its clock still works. That settles it. Better to act than merely think. First, you clear some space in storage space. You instruct the old wolf, guard the camp and stay put. I'm going to bring back the metal sphere. Run off, and I'll deduct your meat. The old wolf immediately lies down. Good. You sling the axe over your back, grab your tools, and set off. You return to the Fire Lizard's Valley. The giant corpse that once lay across the ground is now only a skeleton surrounded by FLIs. You stop and stare. Alive, it was a king. Dead, it is only me. Pangu Continent shows no one any mercy. You head straight into the cave, find the metal sphere, and place it inside storage space. The entire process is quick and efficient. On the way back, you search for medical supplies. Unfortunately, your luck is ordinary. You find no trace of medicine. Meta civilization. Honestly, you were an advanced civilization. How could you leave me no medicine? Still, you cannot return empty-handed, so you gather mushrooms, medicinal herbs, and a plant resembling chili peppers. The pioneer eye scans a shaggy ghost cap. A mushroom that is most likely non-toxic. Its texture resembles chicken. You nod. An edible mushroom. Its root can also be used medicinally to improve circulation and disperse blood clots. You immediately dig up the root. The old wolf can use it. Next, the chili-like plant. Non-toxic. Heat level, approximately 4,000 Scoville units. Your eyes light up. Excellent. Now I have seasoning for stir-fried lizard meat. You pack everything away and look toward the camp. Once back, you will test the metal sphere again. This may be your one chance to contact humanity. Meanwhile, in Yunhai City, Human Civilization Branch 1 Safe Zone, the atmosphere at the Paranormal Research Center is tense. The 1-hour information conference has been forcibly extended. A researcher speaks. The first possibility, he truly is human. For some reason, he left a safe zone alone. Then, he discovered a meta civilization management device and attempted to contact us. Another person immediately adds, because the device is damaged, he has no idea that he already reached us. The meeting room falls silent again. Is that explanation reasonable? Yes, but it sounds utterly absurd. Leaving a safe zone alone and surviving on Pangu Continent, time outside and inside the safe zones flows at a ratio of 100 to 1. 1 day inside equals 100 days outside. Even an elite special forces soldier might struggle to survive comfortably. And Pangu Continent contains extraordinary creatures, unknown viruses, ruins, and monsters. Someone asks quietly, what about a second possibility? Perhaps outside civilizations resemble humans, and their languages resemble those on Earth. Maybe we happen to encounter an alien who speaks Chinese. The probability is extremely low, but it cannot be ruled out. Yunhai's top official, Li Chunhong, rubs her temples. She has witnessed far too many absurd things today: paranormal technology, a civilization management device, and a possible human outside. Each is more unbelievable than the last. She taps the table. Conclusion: preserve every possible channel of contact. Any useful information could improve humanity's chances of survival. Everyone nods. Representatives from the other cities gradually agree as well. Any new intelligence will be shared. The conference soon concludes. Everyone remains polite on the surface, but beneath it, the atmosphere has already changed. Information is a resource, and resources cannot remain free forever. After the connection ends, Professor Zhang Hui quickly enters a smaller conference room. His expression is grave. Leaders, facial recognition found a match. Li Chunhong looks up. Professor Zhang places the documents on the table. We can confirm that the young man in the footage is a Yunhai City resident. His name is Chen Fan. Several people in the room react at once. He's really one of ours. From Yunhai City? Is he still alive? Professor Zhang shakes his head. We do not know yet, but the recognition result is an extremely close match. A leader in his 60s frowns. Should we disclose this to the other civilization branches? Another immediately objects. Disclose it? Would that not attract too much attention? A Yunhai City resident is outside the safe zone and controls a meta civilization communication device. Once that information spreads, what will the other cities think? Li Chunhong lowers her voice. Even if we say nothing, they will still suspect it. After all, he was speaking our language. The older leader looks at her. You want to disclose it proactively? Li Chunhong nods. This is a card, and a powerful one. The 17 cities may cooperate publicly, but information will not remain free forever. If you possess technology I lack, you will not give it to me for nothing. Sooner or later, everything will become a transaction, and Chen Fan is our bargaining chip for direct contact with the outside world. As long as he is alive, Yunhai City possesses a mysterious source of leverage. Others will think twice, and thinking twice may make them yield. The older leader remains silent for a moment, then sighs quietly. A prisoner's dilemma. Yes, Li Chunhong says, but we have no choice. The words fellow humans are not enough for 17 cities to hold nothing back. We can trust others, but we cannot place our lives in their hands. A moment later, Li Chunhong suddenly asks, what about Chen Fan's family? Did we locate them? The liaison immediately answers, yes. Lu Chonghua, a psychiatrist at Yunhai 3rd Hospital. His mother is also a doctor there. His younger sister, Chen Jiaoyu, is a senior at Yunhai Experimental High School. His grandparents on both sides appear to have remained on Earth and were not transported. Li Chunhong nods and picks up her phone. I'll call his father. The call connects. A middle-aged man's voice answers. Hello, Psychiatry Department, 3rd Hospital. Who are you looking for? Li Chunhong softens her tone. This is the Yunhai City Government Office. Dr. Lu Chonghua, is Chen Fan your son? The breathing on the other end changes noticeably. He did not come home yesterday. Did you find him? Or was he left behind on Earth? Li Chunhong does not answer directly. We will send you a photograph. Please confirm whether the person shown is Chen Fan. A multimedia message is sent seconds later. The other end remains silent for a long time. Then his breathing quickens. Yes, that should be him. He has lost so much weight. Where is he? Is he injured? Li Chunhong says solemnly, Dr. Lu, please remain calm. We have one more question. Did Chen Fan awaken a superpower? A superpower? Lu Chonghua is clearly stunned. I don't know. He never told me. Several people in the room exchange glances. His ignorance is understandable. Unless a person reveals or actively uses a superpower, outsiders have difficulty detecting it. They then call Chen Fan's mother and receive the same answer. Finally, they call his younger sister. Chen Zhaoyu's voice is young, intense. Hello, We are staff from the Yunhai City government. Are you Chen Jiaoyu? Yes. We would like to ask about your brother. Did Chen Fan ever mention having a superpower? The other end remains silent for 2 seconds. Then the girl says quietly, he did. Li Chunhong's gaze sharpens. What ability? He called it alternate space. He awakened it only a few days ago and had not yet reported it. The girl's voice trembles. Ma'am, where did my brother go? Did something happen to him? Li Chunhong grips the phone and pauses. How could she explain this? Your brother was not left on Earth, nor is he inside a safe zone. He somehow reached the ruins of the Meta civilization. Who would believe such an explanation? In the end, Li Chunhong only says, Chen Jiaoyu, please remain calm. We will send someone to contact your family. Regarding Chen Fan's situation, we will explain everything in person. After the call ends, the meeting room erupts. The younger experts cannot contain their excitement. Alternate space is an exceptionally rare ability. According to his sister, Chen Fan can create an independent pocket dimension and hide himself inside it. The outside world can neither see nor touch him. That is clearly a spatial ability. Someone immediately adds, according to Earth's public records, only two spatial abilities were known, short-range teleportation and passing through walls. Chen Fan's alternate space sounds even more advanced than either one. Li Chunhong stares at the records, her frown deepening. Then how exactly did he get outside? A researcher taps his head. I have a theory. At the time, Chen Fan may have been using alternate space. When the civilization selection began, Earth disappeared. But Chen Fan was not inside normal space, so the system overlooked him. The meeting room falls silent. Professor Zhang Hua's eyes light up. He immediately draws circles on the table. Exactly. Earth was one large space, while Chen Fan's alternate space was the separate small one. The safe zone selection scanned lifeforms in normal space, but he hid in a pocket dimension and bypassed the mechanism. Li Chunhong's expression twitches. Would the Interstellar Alliance make such a mistake? Zhang Hui shakes his head. It may not be a mistake. If the Alliance operates through fixed rules and program procedures, then this is a loophole in the mechanism. It is not that the Alliance failed to detect Chen Fan. He simply was not within its scanning range. Everyone remains silent for 2 seconds. Then someone whispers, he really is unbelievably unlucky. He had just awakened a superpower, entered it to experiment, and Earth vanished while he was inside. The tension in the room immediately eases. Li Chunhong laughs as well. Unlucky? I was hosting the opening ceremony of a cultural festival before I could put down the microphone. The entire city rose into the sky. A military major adds, mine was even more frightening. The troops were practicing grenade throwing. The moment one grenade left a soldier's hand, the city lifted off. One recruit turned deathly pale, thinking he had blown up the entire Earth. The room fills with even louder laughter. Professor Zhang Hui clears his throat and returns to the subject. Everyone, Chen Fan is currently in extreme danger. 10 million of us are hiding inside the safe zone and still dare not leave. He fell onto Pangu Continent alone, where time moves 100 times faster than here. We must find some way to help him. Li Chunhong taps the table. First, Chen Fan's identity may be disclosed. Clearly inform the other cities that he is from Yunhai City. Do not let anyone else claim him, and do not let them speculate wildly. Someone nods. Disclosure actually benefits us. There is no point hiding it. Li Chunhong continues. Second, prioritize research into a method of communication. His device appears damaged. He can transmit images, but cannot receive our messages. We must find a way to let him know we are here. Someone immediately asks, do we have any superpower users capable of long-range communication? Telepathy usually appears between twins. Chen Fan has a younger sister, but they are not twins, and she currently has no ability. What about the other cities? We do not know yet. Everyone begins talking at once, but every idea encounters the same problem. They cannot help him. Yunhai City cannot send even a single message. They can only watch the screen and worry helplessly. One of the older leaders can no longer endure after staying awake for a full day and night. His eyes are completely bloodshot. Li Chunhong stands. Everyone should rest first. Continue monitoring Chen Fan's situation, but Yunhai City must also restore production. 10 million people need food, water, and public order. She looks at Zhang Hui. Professor Zhang, please remain on duty. Please continue monitoring international communications as well. Zhang Hui nods. Do not worry. There are plenty of young people here, and they are all too excited to sleep. Li Chunhong smiles. The new world will still depend on all of you. The moment the leaders leave, Zhang Hui yawns as well. He wants to rest his head on the table for a few minutes, but his mind is too excited to sleep. There are too many paranormal phenomena and too many urgent tasks. The first major issue is food. Yunhai City covers 12,000 square kilometers. That sounds large. But supporting 10 million people is no small matter. There is insufficient farmland and limited stored grain. Without finding high-yield crops, people will eventually starve. Jiang Hui presses his temples and tells his subordinate, "We still have 1 year of stored food. That is already fortunate. The other cities may not have nearly as much." The moment he finishes speaking, the phone rings. Jiang Hui answers. "What happened?" The voice on the other end trembles with urgency. "Professor Jiang." The communicator screen lit up again. Chen Fan has initiated another communication request. Jiang Hui leaps to his feet, quickly, to the communications room. "At the abandoned data center on Pangu Continent, you are eating meat. You slice fire lizard meat thinly and fry it on a metal plate. Fat sizzles from the meat. You add salt and mushrooms, then toss in several freshly picked green chilies. The aroma surges upward. You pick up a slice of meat and bring it to your mouth. You put it in your mouth, crispy outside, tender inside. Your whole body relaxes. Amazing. Now this is a real meal." The large metal sphere has been charging in the sun for hours. You eat while pressing its buttons. "Old friend, you should have enough power by now. Stop playing dead. Contact human civilization for me." You enter the ID once, twice, 3 times. You are not truly confident, but your hands refuse to stop. What if it actually connects? Give me one chance. As long as I can make contact, I can leverage the strength of all humanity. You slap the sphere. "Light up for me." The screen stays dark. You grit your teeth. "Human civilization, can you hear me? My name is Chen Fan. I am still alive and need contact." You stuff another bite of meat into your mouth. "By the way, fire lizard meat is pretty delicious." Inside Yunhai City's safe zone communications room, the entire scene is directly transmitted to civilization management devices in several major cities. The researchers watch you eat, their eyes nearly popping out. A young doctor speaks in a daze. "Is he eating that giant lizard?" The female doctor beside him turns pale. "The flesh of an extraordinary creature, and he simply fried it. That should be used for research. Organ regeneration experiments, super antibiotic cultivation, even breeding mutant plant seeds." That one bite. The female doctor pauses, her voice trembling. That single bite could equal 10 million in research funding. Another researcher reminds her, "Money has no meaning now." The female doctor glances at him. "Then it is 10 million level scientific material. This is not merely wasteful. It is like frying a researcher's heart on an iron plate." And at that exact moment, you sigh at the black screen again. "I'm getting tired of eating all this wild meat. I really miss plain white rice." The communications room falls silent. A few seconds later, someone whispers, "I don't feel very sorry for him anymore." Is he showing off? The female doctor clutches her chest. "This is next level bragging. I ration every scrap during my experiments, yet he is tired of extraordinary meat. How is that fair?" Jiang Hui watches the screen, the corner of his mouth twitching. "Stop mourning the meat. At least this proves one thing: he has food, and high-quality food at that." Hearing this, everyone finally calms down a little. That's true. He is alive and can still eat meat. He can even complain about wanting rice. That is good news. At that moment, another communicator activates. Human Civilization Branch 6 requests communication. Jiang Hui immediately accepts. The screen lights up. Professor Edward appears and gets straight to the point. "Professor Jiang, is this young man from Yunhai City? Did he use some method to enter Pangu Continent? That method would be vital to all humanity." Jiang Hui pauses for half a second, then smiles. "I can answer only one question. The young man who accidentally entered Pangu Continent is indeed from Yunhai City. Everything else is classified." Professor Edward narrows his eyes. "Can you contact him?" Jiang Hui counters. "Does your city have anyone with long-range telepathy?" Edward immediately understands. "So you cannot contact him either." He smiles faintly. "Unfortunately, we currently have no one. However, we can exchange something of value." Jiang Hui sits upright. "Go on." Edward says. The communicator on Chen Fan's side probably has only a broken screen and speaker. Its core remains functional, or the image could not be transmitted. So we can bypass the screen and audio and contact him through another function. Jiang Hui's gaze sharpens, such as vibration. Edward raises a hand and signals an assistant to operate the device. The next second, the metal sphere in Yunhai's communications room suddenly vibrates and emits a short alarm. Everyone immediately turns toward it. Jiang Hui's eyes light up. "It has that function too?" Edward nods. "A backup channel. The screen may be broken, and the speaker may be broken, but the vibration hardware may still work. We are willing to share the method. You can send the next vibration to Chen Fan." Jiang Hui remains silent. Edward continues. "Time moves 100 times faster for him. If you hesitate for several minutes, a very long time may pass on his side. Professor Jiang, first let him know that humanity has heard him." Those words strike home. Jiang Hui stops delaying. "Fine. We will remember this favor. Edward smiles. We can discuss a trade in the future. Cooperation is more valuable than mutual suspicion. Zhang Hui nods. At least for now. On Pangu Continent, you sit before the metal sphere, growing irritated. The screen remains black, with no sound or response. You kick it. I knew greater expectations only bring greater disappointment. Unable to suppress your anger, you curse at the sphere. Human civilization. Can you hear me or not? Give me some reaction. The wolf pack hears you shouting and rushes over. They crowd around, wagging their heads and tails. Several large tails lap against you, sweeping back and forth like little brooms. Your eyebrow twitches from the beating. What are you doing? I called humanity, not you. Then the wolf pups squeeze over too. Yes, during the week you were recovering, the female wolves gave birth to litter after litter. The camp suddenly gained more than a dozen little ones. Short legs, round bellies, and wobbly steps. One pup pounces at your feet and lets out a tiny cry. Its round eyes attack your willpower directly. Your expression stiffens. No, I cannot feed you. You're wolves. Be independent. The pup hugs your ankle and keeps whining. You hold out for 3 seconds, then take out a small dried fish. Here, eat. The pup swallows it in one bite, its tail wagging furiously. You slap your forehead. Why did I feed it again? You point at the old wolf. This is all your fault. The old wolf's leg has not healed, so it still limps when walking. It lets out an aggrieved whine, as if saying wolves live in matriarchal packs. This has little to do with me. You lightly kick it. From now on, you take them hunting. If they want meat, they can catch it themselves. Stop coming here for free meals. I cannot keep spoiling you. 3 seconds later, you grab a handful of dried fish and toss them out. You freeze. Why did I feed them again? Why is my willpower so weak? At that moment, buzz, the metal sphere suddenly vibrates twice. You whip around. It moved. You rush over, pupils tightening, and press your hand against the metal shell. Did humanity actually make contact? The next second, the joy on your face freezes. The screen remains dark. Only the cold metal sphere is growing warm. Then it emits a sharp beep, and an alarm suddenly blares. Your heart jumps. You immediately step back. No way. Don't tell me you're about to explode. You stare for 2 seconds, then decisively shut it down. Forget it. My life matters more. Don't blow up my lair. Meanwhile, the screen at the Paranormal Research Institute instantly turns blue. The other party has disconnected. Reinitiate communication request. The meeting room erupts. He shut it off. He ended the video. Reconnect immediately. Please wait. Contacting the Meta civilization. There is no response. Professor Zhang Hui slaps his forehead. This is bad. Our good intentions backfired. Someone asks anxiously, weren't we trying to tell him that humanity hurt him? Zhang Hui takes a deep breath. The problem is that he probably does not know Morse code. And time flows differently on both sides. 1 second for us is 100 seconds for him. The device also cannot vibrate continuously. After waiting so long, he received only one vibration and an alarm. Wouldn't you shut it down too? Everyone falls silent. Zhang Hui rubs his forehead. The good news, the alarm and vibration channel works. The bad news, it carries too little information. Chen Fan misunderstood it. Zhang Hui immediately calls an information science expert. The call connects. After hearing the request, Professor Shang is stunned. Professor Zhang. This request is rather unreasonable. The buzzer can only beep. That is determined by its physical construction. Zhang Hui speaks quickly. We are not asking for much. At least let him know that he reached humanity, and tell him not to shut the device off. Professor Sheng pauses for 2 seconds. Simpler than Morse code. Difficult, but I'll gather people and try. A group of experts soon surrounds the metal sphere and gets to work. It can output square and triangular waves. Combine them. Can we produce more complex syllables? Hurry! 1 hour in the safe zone is several days for him. Delay too long, and he may be gone. At that moment, a voice sounds simultaneously in everyone's mind. Item attribute system generation complete. Extraordinary items are divided into inferior, common, fine, excellent, legendary, epic, immortal, and mythic 8 grades in total. After obtaining an appraisal-related ability, one may identify an extraordinary item's grade and effects. Zhang Hui's expression changes. Interstellar Alliance. Why update the equipment system at a time like this? Outside the shelter on Pangu Continent, you sit on a rock and cultivate. The extraordinary spark flickers slowly. Suddenly, the cold voice descends. Item attribute system generation complete. Extraordinary item grades unlocked. You open your eyes. An equipment system. The wolves beside you show no reaction. The pups continue fighting. Apparently, only intelligent life forms can hear it. Without dwelling on it, you immediately appraise the 3 extraordinary items you possess. Juvenile infernal demon spider's back pattern causes mental intimidation. Grade excellent. Crimson spirit crystal fine. Fire lizard leather common. Fuel crystals below graded quality. You raise an eyebrow. The standards are high. Then you stare at the fire lizard hide, your expression changing. An artificially manufactured extraordinary item would probably trigger a new milestone. You jump to your feet. Your motive is simple: seize the reward. Beat every other civilization to it. You have materials and 100 times more time. You know milestones grant rewards. That is your advantage. Start now. You enter the shelter and turn the large sphere back on. Only its lights activate. This time, there is no vibration or alarm. You sigh in relief. Good. As long as it does not explode. Whether humanity can hear you no longer matters. You only need to demonstrate the legendary milestone once. You have never tanned leather, but you know the hide cannot remain untreated. Wait any longer, and it will be ruined. Step 1: Cleaning and degreasing. You find a barrel of spoiled powder in the ruins. Old detergent containing sodium carbonate and sodium silicate. It still has some cleaning effect. The conditions are poor, so it will have to do. You soak the hide in it for 2 full days, scrape away fat with a knife, then stretch it out to dry. The pioneer eye displays fire lizard leather. Common grade, crude. Your eyelid twitches. Great. Its grade is dropping. You grit your teeth and continue. This is not merely hide. It will become your future clothes, trousers, and shoes. It is equipment that will help you survive on Pangu Continent. After drying, the description changes again. Preliminarily cleaned extraordinary creature leather. Its miserly processor resembles a legendary cheapskate, unwilling to use even a decent cleaning agent. Common grade, extremely crude. Your face darkens. Extremely crude? Do not push it. The pioneer eye continues requires a softening agent. Alum can improve elasticity, durability, water resistance, and wrinkle resistance. You slap your forehead. The chemical plant ruins might contain alum. You call out, "Old wolf, let's go." Time to scavenge. Inside the safe zone, Chen Fan's signal reconnects. The institute erupts in excitement, but no one dares send another random signal. If they make him shut it down again before devising a new method, the consequences will be serious. You work for several days on Pangu Continent, while just over an hour passes in the safe zone. So much footage arrives that the institute immediately adds more personnel: graduate students, doctoral students, psychologists, and materials experts. Someone watches the footage and whispers. He is deliberately aiming the camera at his work area. He is not sure whether we can see him, but he still wants to share. A psychologist explains, sharing daily activities is a way to resist loneliness. Another person studies the leather you are carrying. His physical condition is unusual. An ordinary person would have collapsed after this much labor. Could he possess more than one ability? Record at first. Then someone points toward the corner of the screen. Those are city ruins. Collapsed buildings appear in the footage, with rusted rebar briefly flashing past. The meeting room falls silent. The Matus civilization, it truly perished. No one responds. Everyone is thinking the same thing. What about the previous 8 eras? What happened to those civilizations? In the end, only silence remains. A moment later, a materials expert says, his tanning method is extremely crude. But doing this much alone is already impressive. He is clearly preparing for long-term survival. As soon as he finishes speaking, on screen, you return to the shelter carrying a large bucket, your face glowing with the joy of a successful haul. You raise the plastic bucket. The alum is here. You pour the alum into water and add a little industrial salt. You begin stirring. The bucket of leather is incredibly heavy. Each hide weighs over 100 jin. As you stir, you joke through the hardship. 9th era of Pangu Continent, for 15 in the morning, old Chen, sleeping in a ruined house, is ordered out of bed by wolves. The wolves shout, "Awoo!" Translated into human speech, "Get to work." You laugh at your own joke. Although exhausted, you have the extraordinary spark, an eternal body. As long as your vitality is not seriously damaged, you can recover by the next day. Your 3 attributes are also increasing rapidly. The fire lizard meat was not wasted. I should now count as one of the strongest humans in the world. You keep turning the hides, then dry them for another 2 days. At last, the fire lizard hide changes from fiery red to reddish brown, and most of the fishy smell fades. You immediately appraise it. Extraordinary creature leather tanned by primitive methods. Due to exceptionally crude workmanship, its quality has declined. Inferior grade, hidden ability, heat resistance, not activated. The smile instantly disappears from your face. Inferior, you rush over to inspect it. Every single hide is inferior grade. After all that work, the quality still collapsed. On Earth, mass-produced goods were cheap, while handmade products were luxury items. What does the Interstellar Alliance know? Complaining will not restore the leather. You can only comfort yourself. It is fine. Even inferior items still have a grade. As long as I turn it into equipment, it should still trigger the milestone. I am the master of handmade craftsmanship. Next, you prepare needle and thread. The needle is made from an infernal demon spider's leg, and the thread from vines shed by the man-eating flower. You nod in satisfaction. These materials sound incredibly prestigious. You do not know how to sew, but repeatedly stitching to pieces of leather should work eventually. The first item will be a sleeping bag. Living without a blanket has never felt secure. You choose the softest hide from the fire lizard's belly. It feels like a carpet. After thinking, you make it large enough for two. Bigger is always better. The old wolf comes over and rolls onto the sleeping bag. You kick it away. Get off. This is my bed. The wolf pups charge over too. More than a dozen furballs occupy the sleeping bag, play fighting with one another, and squeaking softly. You cannot bring yourself to hit them. Your expression turns gentle. Fine. You can test the luxury bed first. 3 hours later, the sleeping bag is complete. You immediately appraise it. Fire lizard sleeping bag. Sewn from inferior extraordinary creature leather. Excellent warmth retention. Decent comfort. However, the workmanship is unbearably crude. A shameful waste of precious material. You stare at the final description, your face stiffening. It does not count as an extraordinary item. Then what about the milestone? You immediately search the Meta civilization records. Soon, you find the key point. Fire lizard hide possesses heat resistance. But the ability becomes dormant after the fire lizard dies. Without activation, it is only ordinary leather. The records offer 3 methods. First, physical harmonization. Use microcurrents to simulate neural signals. You immediately shake your head. Where would I get controlled microcurrents? Second, catalytic harmonization. Use materials with different attributes to activate one another. You shake your head again. The Meta civilization studied this for 300 years just to begin. By the time I learn it, everything will be over. Third, spiritual harmonization. It depends on talent, instinct, and a master craftsman's flash of inspiration. 10 minutes later, you stare at your crooked stitches and fall silent. Understood. I am not a master craftsman. You turn toward another object, the back pattern of the juvenile infernal demon spider. It can cause mental intimidation. An excellent grade natural wonder. The pattern's ability is naturally active. Your breathing steadies. If I use it to make equipment, it should qualify as a graded item. It is excellent grade material. Even dropping to grades would be enough. But you do not begin immediately, because you have only one piece. If the gamble fails, you will not obtain better material anytime soon. First, you practice by making a bed for the old wolf. The old wolf likes it. The pups like it too. Then you begin making a leather coat, a leather jacket, and leather trousers, one after another. You work during the day and cultivate at night. When hungry, you eat fire lizard meat. When tired, you sleep. Your tailoring progresses from clumsy to practiced. You work faster and more steadily each day. Meanwhile, the metal sphere remains active. You became so busy that you forgot to turn it off. As you stitch the leather, you remember the college entrance exam back on Earth. Back then, you stayed up late and woke early every day. You appeared hardworking, but often let your mind wander, so your results were ordinary. You attended an ordinary university and lived an ordinary life. Thinking about it, you feel a little sad. If heaven gave me another chance. The needle and thread pause in your hands. What would I do? Your mind and body produce the same thought. If I were reborn, I should hurry up and fall in love. No, shouldn't I study hard and enter a top university? Your thoughts run wild, but your hands never stop. Over the next month, you make 5 leather coats, 5 pairs of trousers, 10 pairs of underwear, 20 pairs of socks, and 3 pairs of boots. You flex your fingers. You cannot help smiling. Not bad. Looks like my craftsmanship has finally improved. Unfortunately, none of them activated their internal abilities, so they are not extraordinary items. The pioneer eye gives an evaluation, a carefully sewn pair of leather shoes with excellent durability. No supernatural effect has been activated, so they cannot be classified as an artificial wonder, a luxury item. You let out a long breath. There are no major flaws left. Then it is time for the real attempt. You take out the back pattern of the juvenile infernal demon spider and select the thickest piece of fire lizard hide. You're going to make a leather shield. The hide from the fire lizard's rump is the toughest, thick and resilient, making it perfect for a shield. You embed the palm-sized spider pattern into the leather. It sounds simple, but the actual work is painstaking. At last, a round leather shield is complete, 70 centimeters in diameter. It can be held in the left hand or strapped to the forearm. At its center is the spider pattern resembling a blood-red eye. You hold the shield in your left hand and a branch in your right, then charge toward the wolf pack. Time to test it. The wolf pups have grown quickly. In just over a month, they already weigh more than 10 jin. At first, they stare wide-eyed at the shield. The next second, they turn and flee, yelping as they run. Only the old wolf circles around you with a disdainful look. It examined this thing long ago and knows it is lifeless. The old wolf is still rather clever. You suppress your excitement and appraise it with the pioneer eye. Leather shield, the defensive weapon made from multiple materials. The eye pattern at its center can intimidate an enemy's mind. Due to crude processing methods, the material's full potential was not realized. Artificial wonder. Inferior grade. Your expression stiffens. I used my finest treasure, and it is still only inferior grade, but the objective has been achieved. The next second, the familiar cold voice sounds. Congratulations! You have earned a unique milestone, extraordinary craftsman. You are the first among all civilizations to create an extraordinary item. Unique milestone rewards acquired craftsman's talent in Daedalus's sewing tools. Transmitting now. Your eyes light up. Just as I expected, white light descends and slams directly into your mind. Like a mass of knowledge forcibly poured into your soul. You collapse on the spot, sweat pouring from your body, among countless competing civilizations. You were the first to create an extraordinary item. Several hours later, you crawl upright, drenched in sweat, and grab a cup, gulping down water. A large bronze-colored chest stands before you. A new passive ability has also appeared, craftsman's talent. Your spatial imagination has improved dramatically. You can use any tool with far greater ease and occasionally experience bursts of inspiration, finding traces of order within the supernatural world. You pick up the needle and thread. A powerful sense of familiarity floods over you, as though you have been sewing for 60 years. You arrived a little late. I have almost used up all my materials. Still, better late than never. Now let me see what Daedalus's sewing tools actually are. You walk over and open the chest. Inside is a red chest. Opening that reveals a blue chest. Your expression grows stranger. Nested boxes. After opening 7 or 8 chests, you finally find a crystal case about the size of a pencil box. Inside lies a bronze pair of scissors, a dagger, an object resembling a ruler, and 12 needles of different sizes. There is also a small golden booklet. The pioneer eye provides information. Daedalus's sewing tools. A mysterious relic left by Daedalus, master tailor of the 7th era Cretan civilization. The master committed crimes against civilization and was cast into alternate space. It was then declared that no one would ever obtain his inheritance. But even alternate space can eventually fracture, and these tools were found by you. You look up at the sky. That wording is rather shameless. This was clearly a reward, yet you claim I found it. You suddenly realize something. The Interstellar Alliance does not manufacture anything, it merely transports things. Every reward I received was left behind by another civilization. The pioneer eye continues displaying information. The main materials of these sewing tools are orichalcum and crystalline alloy. Their durability is extremely high. They also contain Daedalus's crafting knowledge. Artificial wonder, excellent grade. You suck in a breath. Excellent grade tools. I nearly died to make one inferior shield. Yet the reward directly gives me excellent grade equipment, a gift from heaven. You pick up the scissors. A gentle warmth flows into your hand. Daedalus's scissors. Excellent grade equipment. Resonance effect, while used with focus. Physique 8.1%. Perception 3.3%. Your eyes widen. It can even increase attributes. Then this is true equipment. The scissors possess 2 abilities. Ripper easily cuts through most materials. Clean cut leaves a smooth edge without burrs. Unfortunately, they are too small. Otherwise, they could serve as a weapon. You pick up the dagger, 25 centimeters long. Its bronze blade gleams faintly. Daedalus's skinning knife, trait unstoppable edge, can cut through most forms of leather. Excellent grade equipment. Resonance effect, while used with focus. Physique 9.2%. Perception 3.3%, Spirit 4.5%. You swing it twice. It feels perfect in the hand. This can be used as a weapon. Next, you pick up the ruler. This is the true core of the tool set. When pressed against leather, it can sense the pathways within extraordinary materials. You touch it to the newly made leather shield. Sure enough, you feel a pulse-like rhythm. However, many of those pathways were destroyed by your rough workmanship. You feel a little regret. Fine. At least Daedalus's ruler still works. Excellent grade equipment. Resonance effect while used with focus. Spirit 8.9%. Finally, there is the small golden booklet. It is filled with sesame-sized writing and strange diagrams. Daedalus's manual records knowledge on extraordinary materials and sewing techniques. But you lack the necessary foundational knowledge. Even the great pioneer eye cannot translate it. It is like placing a paper on gold box conjecture before you. You still would not understand it. You feel both delighted and frustrated. Fine. This really is impressive. This reward would be enormously valuable to an entire civilization. The 7th-era Cretan civilization could develop excellent-grade equipment. Its technology was unquestionably far beyond humanity's, especially the power of resonance. The equipment feels almost alive. If human scientists could study it, they would certainly uncover vast amounts of knowledge. But for you, its usefulness is temporarily limited. You do not possess enough knowledge or a complete industrial system. At best, you can use the dagger as a weapon. You have gained an enormous fortune, yet you still cannot help sighing. What a waste! Such a terrible waste! You even suspect that being first to create a common grade item, a fine grade item, or an excellent grade extraordinary item would also trigger a milestone. But those goals are still far away. One person cannot claim every reward. Forget it. A free dagger is still worth taking. After I excavate a few more ruins, perhaps I will finally learn how to use all this. You calm down again. Your next goal is to make life more comfortable. Then you notice the large sphere nearby. It has been running for almost 2 months, and its red indicator light is still flashing. Although you know it is damaged, you put on the air of a mysterious expert and say calmly, "Humanity, you saw that, right? This is a milestone reward. I was the first civilization to create an extraordinary item, so the Interstellar Alliance rewarded me." You pat the leather shield and raise the dagger. One step ahead means staying ahead. A powerful civilization must always seize the initiative. After saying that, you feel much better. Whether the signal reached anyone or not, at least saying it felt satisfying. You have spent 5 months on Pangu Continent. Your basic needs for clothing, food, shelter, and transportation are solved. But for the humans inside the safe zones, less than 2 days have passed. During those 2 days, reality nearly crushed Yunhai City. The currency collapsed, and banking data disappeared. Mortgages and savings were thrown into chaos. The internet is full of arguments. The banks cannot find our records. Does that mean we no longer need to repay our mortgages? What about people like me who never bought a home? My landlord is throwing me out, saying money is now worthless. Do not act recklessly. First, find food. The supermarkets have closed. My family has only 2 days of food left. There are no fever reducers. The hospitals are closed. Once the economy collapses, private social order collapses with it. Now only 2 words matter to stay alive. Tens of thousands of people stand packed into Yunhai City's government square. Li Chunhong has slept only 4 hours, her eyes completely bloodshot. Holding a loudspeaker, she shouts, "Everyone, please remain calm. I will explain the latest policies. First, every citizen's right to housing will be protected." The crowd immediately quiets. Li Chunhong continues. A person's primary residence remains their private property, regardless of its size or how much property was transported with it. The Yunhai city government will protect residents' private assets. Hearing this, many people breathe a sigh of relief. But the next second, Li Chunhong abruptly changes direction. However, all second homes and additional properties will become collectively administered housing. The crowd erupts in agitation. Someone protests. On what grounds? Li Chunhong answers forcefully, because some people currently have nowhere to live. We are no longer on Earth. This is a new world, not the world we knew before. To survive, we must first stabilize the entire population. Her tone is uncompromising because there is no alternative. Tenants cannot be thrown into the streets. Young people cannot be allowed to lose control. Landlords will still retain one home of their own. That is the bottom line. Immediately afterward, Li Chunhong announces further measures. Major supermarkets and grain warehouses are now under compulsory control. Criminal offenders have been arrested. Network communications are being restored. For emergencies, call the mayor's hotline. Residents may collect food from their communities using identification. Each person will receive 1 week's rations. The food may not be luxurious, but everyone will be fed. Stocks of infant formula and diapers are also available. Parents may collect them with birth certificates. The crowd visibly settles down. Then she raises her voice. We have 1 year of grain reserves. There is no immediate shortage, but production must be restored for the long term. Grow vegetables on balconies or any available land. No rescue is coming from the outside. We can rely only on ourselves. If society collapses into chaos, nothing awaits us but extinction. The moment she finishes, a soldier roars, "All personnel, attention, salute." A row of soldiers salutes in unison. Distribute food to the people. United as one, we will overcome this crisis. The soldiers unload supplies from large trucks, and citizens line up to collect food. Order in the square gradually returns. Li Chunhong finally breathes a sigh of relief. A young staff member beside her mutters, "I wonder how the other cities are doing. They are probably looting everything for free." Li Chunhong's feelings are complicated. This truly is competition between civilizations. Yunhai City managed to restore order quickly, but other cities may not be capable of the same. This is only short-term stability. Next, employment must be restored. A new monetary system must be designed, and the economy must begin operating again. Soon another call arrives. Director Lee, should hospital medicines be placed under centralized control? Many medicines can no longer be produced. Lee Chun-hung remained silent for a long time. The government is under enormous pressure, but people cannot simply be abandoned. She answers, medicines that are needed must still be used. People who can be saved must be saved, especially pregnant women and children. They are our future, but we cannot sustain unlimited free healthcare. Discuss a sustainable plan as soon as possible and reduce unnecessary expenses. The voice on the phone says quietly, restarting pharmaceutical factories will be extremely difficult. Raw materials have been cut off. Finding substitutes may take 3 to 5 years. Lee Chun-hung rubs her temples. Finally, she says, prioritize pregnant women and children. I will personally sign the relevant orders. The times are forcing us. Someone has to play the villain. Meanwhile, pressure from the supernatural world is also mounting. Mutated plants and animals have appeared. More people are awakening superpowers. No one understands what an extraordinary spark truly is. At that moment, Lee Chun-hung receives a call from the paranormal laboratory. She immediately asks, is Chen Fan still alive? Professor Zhang Hui answers excitedly, he is alive. He transmitted extremely important information. We are still trying to establish contact with him. At the paranormal laboratory, you have transmitted more than 2 months of footage. Most of it shows you tanning hides and making clothing. At first, the researchers find it fascinating. After watching for too long, they begin complaining. He is always sewing. There is very little useful information. Their attention shifts to the wolf pack. How did he tame these wolvi? The pups in particular are growing at a rate worth documenting. Finally, you take out the spider's back pattern and begin making the shield. The researchers instantly become alert. There is something wrong with that eye pattern. Looking at it makes me feel deeply uneasy. It is a supernatural effect. Someone says bitterly, what excellent research material. The next second, a teleportation beam appears on screen. The ground shakes. Everyone jumps in fright. In the footage, Chen Fan is struck by white light and rolls across the ground in agony. When the smoke clears, a large bronze-colored chest emerges from the teleportation beam. The laboratory falls completely silent. What is that? Where did that chest come from? After you regain consciousness, you take out the scissors, the dagger, the ruler, needles, and booklet. Everyone is even more stunned. At that moment, a researcher suddenly shouts, pause. Look at the edge of the scissors. The light around them is visibly distorted. The laboratory falls silent. That is supernatural interference. Normally, we can observe it only under a microscope, but this is macroscopic interference. In other words, those scissors are not ordinary. They are a powerful supernatural tool. The dagger shows it too, and the ruler does as well. The researchers feel chills run down their spines. Then, on screen, you stand before the large sphere and begin acting like a mysterious expert. Humanity, you saw that, right? This is a milestone reward. I was the first civilization to create an extraordinary item. The meeting room erupts. A milestone reward. The Interstellar Alliance really gives physical rewards. This information is far too important. Professor Zhang Hui is awakened in the next room. He slept for only 2 hours, and his eyes are completely bloodshot. What happened? Professor Zhang, look at this. He glances at the image once and nearly loses his balance. Macroscopic supernatural interference. The next second, the communicator rings repeatedly. Human civilization branch 6 requests communication. Branch 7 requests communication. Branch 8 requests communication. Professor Edward comes online. The old man has dark circles beneath his eyes, and his entire face is flushed. My God! Look at what Chen Fan obtained. An entire chest of treasure fell from the sky. Then Edward pulls a young man into view. This is my assistant, Jacob. He possesses telepathy. Zhang Hui immediately asks, can he contact Chen Fan? Jacob shakes his head. No, we have never met each other. If I could touch an article of clothing he carried, there might be a small chance. Zhang Hui frowns. Both sides would need to deactivate their safe zones. That is impossible in the short term. The chief scientists of each city gradually join the call. Everyone focuses on one question. That chest was a reward from the Interstellar Alliance. This discovery is crucial. Civilizations can actively pursue milestones to accelerate their development. Everyone immediately looks toward the Metal Sphere's milestone interface. Displayable civilization milestones of the 9th era. 1. End the chaos. Become a stable civilization. 2. Corrupted data. 3. Deactivate the safe zone. Advance into Pangu Continent. Unknown interference has damaged the database. Unable to retrieve further information. Zhang Hui stares at the first entry, his heart pounding. A stable civilization. Could Yunhai City be close to completing it? He cautiously asks, everyone, has the chaos in your cities ended? A brown-skinned professor gives a bitter smile. Power has not yet been restored. Shopping centers were looted. The roads are completely blocked. I am sheltering inside the research institute under military protection. Edward sighs. Our city has completely collapsed. I now work for several major conglomerates. There is nothing I can do for ordinary people. Sweat forms on Zhang Hui's forehead. This world has become utterly surreal. Someone asks, has Yanhai City not always been relatively stable? Zhang Hui immediately gives a diplomatic answer. Human nature is universal. Under mass panic, some chaos is unavoidable. Everyone nods. That is the answer they prefer to hear. After listening from the side, Li Chunheng immediately asks Zhang Hui, we are mostly stable now, aren't we? Why have we not received the reward? What are we still missing for a stable civilization? Zhang Hui thinks, electricity may not be the key, since some civilizations may not possess technology at all. Everyone begins guessing, food security, birth rates, or average lifespan. At that moment, a young doctor says quietly, I think it is continuity. Only a civilization capable of passing itself on can be considered stable. Li Chunhong's eyes brighten. Continuity. Without education, how can there be a next generation? Without a next generation, civilization ends. She immediately makes a call. Arrange for schools to reopen at once. The secretary's office is stunned. Send children back to school now. Is that truly important? Li Chunhong answers directly, of course it is. The teachers are still here, aren't they? Put them back to work. When children can attend school, their parents will feel secure. Online classes on safety in the supernatural era will also work. Issue the notice immediately. In plain terms, they are trying to satisfy the condition. First, secure the milestone. Soon, the education department releases a notice welcome the new era and look toward a new future. The first lesson of the new term will be held for all schools and universities, strengthening student safety awareness and explaining the world's new circumstances. Parents feel considerably more reassured after seeing the announcement. If schools are reopening, then the city has not fallen apart. Children collectively despair. Dad, I don't want to go to school. Mom, my summer vacation hasn't even started. Objections denied. Inside one apartment building, a young girl asks, Dad, where are you going? The middle-aged man picks up some medicine. I'm taking fever reducers to our neighbors. In another apartment, a child asks, Mom, what are you doing? The mother answers while organizing supplies. Didn't they ask us to recycle materials? I'm sorting out everything we can donate. A civilization cannot survive through heroes alone. More often, it survives because countless people fulfill their responsibilities, refuse to harm others or create disorder, and are willing to lend a hand. Suddenly, a cold voice sounds above the city. Everyone hears it. Congratulations! Your civilization has completed the milestone stable civilization. Completion conditions rank among the first 100,000 civilizations to suppress internal chaos and establish stable cultural continuity. Human Civilization Branch 1, current ranking 789th. If history is a vast river, then civilization is its broadest and strongest current. A stable civilization allows history to flow toward a more distant future. Inside the laboratory, everyone's pupils widen. The next second, the young doctors erupt in cheers. We did it. We completed the milestone. Ranked 789th. Zhang Hui trembles all over, his eyes red. Li Chunhong also clenches her fists. At this moment, exhilaration erupts. Yunhai City did not rely on luck. It relied on order and decisive execution. Someone shouts anxiously, what about the reward? Surely 789th place still gets a reward. The voice continues, your civilization has received the milestone reward for ranking 789th. 1 mid-tier extraordinary plant. 12 low-tier extraordinary plants. Random plants within your civilization will mutate. The reward is being transmitted. The next second, several beams of white light descend from the sky and scatter across Yunhai City. Someone in the laboratory exclaims, where did that white light come from? No idea. It appeared like a meteor. Professor Zhang Hui's eyes light up. 13 extraordinary plants in total, including 1 mid-tier extraordinary plant. What does that mean? If even one is related to food, the food crisis could be solved immediately. A stable city has instantly gained real resources. Not a slogan, not a symbolic reward, but something that can save lives. Zhang Hui immediately turns around. Director Li, we must locate them at once. Otherwise, this reward will be wasted. If an important plant is destroyed by an animal, that would be infuriating. Li Chunhong returns to her senses and bursts into laughter. Don't worry, I'll contact the militia immediately. After speaking, she looks toward the sky again. We truly are one step ahead now. But she soon frowns. Still, we are only ranked 789th. This is merely the second day inside the safe zone. We only reached this milestone so quickly because of Chen Fan's information. Yet 788 civilizations were even faster. Zhang Hui thinks for a moment. Alien civilizations, no one can predict them. Some may possess technology far beyond ours and never fell into chaos at all. This ranking is already excellent. Li Chunhong nods. We cannot become complacent. Let's see what these extraordinary plants actually are. Many people witnessed where the white light landed, and the militia conducted a full search. All 13 extraordinary plants were quickly located and placed under protection. These are not ordinary weeds. They are treasures belonging to all of Yunhai City. The phrase random plants was certainly accurate. Most of the 13 were common weeds: foxtail grass, morning glory, a parasol tree, and even a pine tree had mutated. For now, no one knows what they can do. Their potential can only be assessed later. However, the plants immediately electrify everyone present. The first is a rice plant, growing visibly before their eyes. Each grain hangs full and plump, almost the size of a soybean. Someone's voice trembles. This is rice. Can it reproduce? Appraise it quickly. A young woman steps forward. She possesses an appraisal ability. Across all of Yunhai City, only 3 people have awakened this kind of power. She stares at the rice, her eyes widening and her face turning red. After a long time, she staggers into a seat. Yes, it can reproduce. Its yield and growth speed are both far higher than ordinary rice. It also contains a small amount of protein and is highly nutritious. The scene falls completely silent. Then restrained cheers erupt. Food, it really is food. Yunhai City is saved. Zhang Hui immediately supports the young woman. You worked hard. Get some proper rest. That appraisal was worth it. Once this crop is widely cultivated, Yunhai City's food crisis will probably be resolved. Everyone then rushes to the second important site. It is a large peach tree. Its small peaches are crisp and glistening, with an enticing fragrance. But it is no ordinary peach tree, because it can attack. A passing cat tries to eat a peach and is immediately struck by a branch. Someone gasps. So this is a mid-tier extraordinary plant. It may be dangerous, but its fruit must be extraordinary. Another appraiser attempts to identify it, but turns deathly pale and fails outright. Zhang Hui immediately says, the peach tree may be a higher level than you. Rest. Do not force yourself. By daybreak, all 13 plants have been confirmed. Li Chunhong immediately orders that they be transplanted into greenhouses if possible. Post guards first, especially around this peach tree. Do not let children approach it. A soldier nods. Understood. Everyone smiles with relief. Someone looks at the peach tree and cannot resist asking, could this eventually become a legendary longevity peach tree? It is not impossible, though using it for medicine first would be more practical. Meanwhile, winter arrives on Pangu Continent. Heavy snow blankets heaven and earth. Every step sinks deep into the snow. Each breath instantly turns to white frost. You pull your fire lizard hide coat tighter and stand on a high slope, looking toward the enormous silhouette in the distance. High-tier extraordinary plant, giant man-eating flower, at least 1,000 years old and once cultivated by the Meta civilization. Its fruit greatly benefits the evolution of living beings. It is currently semi-dormant due to the low temperature, and its predatory activity has declined sharply. But if you charge straight at it, you will still be eaten. Attributes unknown. You narrow your eyes. Semi-dormant. This is a good opportunity. The problem is how to get close enough to steal some fruit. You curse under your breath and tighten your clothes. This weather is far too cold. 30 or 40 degrees below zero. Old wolf, come here. It reluctantly approaches. A woo. Its meaning is obvious. In the middle of winter, why did you drag me outside? To survive harsh conditions, the wolves of Pangu Continent evolved the ability to hibernate. Before winter, they eat frantically, fattening themselves up, then huddle together for warmth. Only the old wolf remains awake, because it has become your dog. Food is plentiful, so it no longer needs to hibernate. Today, you plan to make a major haul. There are no venomous insects or snakes. It is the perfect season for scavenging and stealing treasure. The thought makes your eyes shine. Shield in your left hand, dagger in your right. You stride through the snow toward your target. Soon, you see a huge mound rising from the ground. Atop the mound stands a gigantic plant nearly 100 meters tall. Corncob-like fruits hang from its branches. The explorer eye provides information. Mid-tier extraordinary plant. Grass family, giant corn tree. A gigantic corn plant at least 1,000 years old, evolved from an herb into a perennial woody plant. Its fruit and seeds are highly nutritious. Even frozen corn makes your mouth water. You have wanted this for a long time. But wherever there is treasure, there is a guardian. A giant bear sleeps inside a hollow in the corn tree. The explorer displays powerful Pangu gray bear, height 2.8 meters, weight nearly 1 ton. After eating this corn for years, it evolved the extraordinary talent monstrous strength. Extraordinary level 1. The corner of your mouth twitches. One swipe from that paw would probably erase a person completely. You do not intend to fight it, because there is no need. You still have plenty of fire lizard meat, at 1 jin per day. It will last another 1,800 days. Besides, 2 cubs are sleeping beside the mother bear. You whisper, the cubs cannot lose their mother. I'll steal a little corn and leave. You turn to the old wolf. Go draw her away. The old wolf's hind legs begin trembling, and its expression changes. Boss, I'll die. Look at you, coward. It is only a level 1 extraordinary creature. In the end, you abandon the idea of sending it to its death. I'll go myself while she is asleep. You tell the old wolf to keep watch, then creep toward the corn tree. The mother bear snores thunder in the distance. You climb the corn tree as quietly as possible and snap one off. Good grief. 1 ear of corn is half a meter long and weighs dozens of jin. You shove it directly into storage space. 1, 2, 10, 20. That is enough. But the next second, the mother bear wakes up. She sees you stealing corn and flies into a rage, climbing the tree to swat you to death. In the distance, the guilty old wolf barks, but fails completely to draw her attention. You cannot help cursing it. Utterly unreliable. You leap down into the snow and immediately raise your shield. The spider eye pattern faces the mother bear. Let's discuss this calmly. Look, I did not steal anything from you. The mother bear sees the eye pattern on the shield and visibly recoils. Then she looks at the corn tree and back at you. Is some corn missing? But there is no corn in your hands, making her even angrier. Her broad paw slams into the snow as she roars. The extraordinary spark in your mind flickers, and your aura spreads outward. The excellent great dagger in your hand gleams dark gold amid the blood-red light. You say coldly, Mother Bear, take another step forward, and I will have no choice but to eat bear paw. The mother bear hesitates. Her animal instincts are accurate. That dagger can cut through her hide. You spread your arms and shout, slowly retreating as you roar. When confronting a beast, your presence must be overwhelming. At that moment, 2 cubs poke their heads out of the snow. They stare at you with round black eyes. The corner of your mouth twitches. Your right hand enters storage space, and a fish appears. The mother bear freezes. Where did that fish come from? You nod. Mother bear, this one's on me. Come again next time, and I'll treat you again. You swing your arm, and the large fish arcs through the air, landing directly in the mother bear's mouth. Startled, she spits it out, then sniffs it. Fresh. She is clearly tempted. How long has it been since she ate fish? You seem like a surprisingly decent person. Then you throw over to stuffed egg cakes, actually fire lizard meat wrapped around bird eggs. They are irresistible to wild animals. The 2 cubs immediately rush to grab them. The mother bear roars and knocks both children aside with one paw. Didn't your mother teach you? Food thrown by a stranger must be tasted by your mother first. When she looks up, you are already gone. With the corn secured, you walk back and lecture the old wolf. See that? Life is not only about fighting and killing, it is about relationships. Build goodwill today, and tomorrow we can eat corn without stealing or fighting. The old wolf looks at you with admiration. The pack never dared approach that bear before. Yet by following you, it obtained corn from the bear's own den. But you do not return home, because your scavenging journey has only begun. Next, you reach the venomous bee king's territory. The corn is secured. Now for some mutated honey. You have waited a long time for honey corn cakes. These bees live symbiotically with the man-eating flower. The flower does not eat them, and years of collecting its nectar accelerated their evolution. Each bee is as large as a fist. The venomous bee king is practically a minor boss, but winter is their mortal enemy. They are all hiding inside the hive, huddled together for warmth. The hive is enormous, 20 or 30 meters in diameter. As soon as you approach, several bees fly out. Bzzz. You immediately retreat, and they return inside to keep warm. How did they detect me? If I cannot enter from the front, I will come from below. You take out a shovel and dig a tunnel through the snow, continuing until you reach the bottom of the hive. Then you grip Daedalus's skinning knife and give a gentle thrust. The dagger pierces straight into the hive. An excellent grade weapon is absurdly powerful. You pull the dagger out, bringing with it a stream of waxy yellow fluid. You taste a little, not honey. It tastes fishy. I hit the brood chamber. You pull out the bee larvae and stuff them into the old wolf's mouth. The old wolf instantly becomes delighted and nearly howls. You collect several more larvae, fill a small bottle, then stop immediately. You move to another location and stab again. This time, luck is on your side. Golden honey runs down the dagger. You touch it with the tip of your tongue. Your eyes light up. This winter will be delicious. You take out a glass jar and quietly collect the honey. Amber honey fills the transparent jar, looking like an enormous gemstone. You stop after filling several jars. Sustainable harvesting means not stripping everything bare. Today's haul is already enormous, but you are still not satisfied, because what you truly want is the fruit of the giant man-eating flower. Those dragon fruit-like fruits have tempted you for months. Once winter ends, the opportunity will disappear. Even if you reach extraordinary level 2, you would still struggle to defeat it head-on. You stare into the distance, your gaze turning fierce. I need a few. I absolutely must get a few. The method is simple, dig a tunnel. If it can fool the bees, it may also fool the man-eating flower. You wave to the old wolf. Go home and eat fish. I'm going after something big. The old wolf runs away without looking back. It has long had enough of this frozen wasteland. Forget glory and titles. Returning to the den and lying down is what matters. You pick up the shovel and begin digging a tunnel through the snow. The man-eating flower's territory spans a full kilometer. Whenever the cold becomes unbearable, you eat a little honey to warm yourself. Then bring the shovel down again and again. You realize that you truly have grown stronger, not only in strength, but also in willpower. Digging a 1-kilometer tunnel will take several days, but if the man-eating flower discovers you, all your work will be wasted. So you begin digging at night and bury yourself motionless beneath the snow during the day. The old you would never even have imagined this. Now, you simply do it. Sooner or later, you must leave this place. Milestones and strength are both means of returning to humanity, but doubt immediately strikes back. Can I really return? The Meta civilization's records could take a lifetime to study. How many extraordinary levels are there? 10, 100, 1,000. Finally, your mind and body give the same answer. I must go home. You remember Earth in a quiet, elegant girl. On a bright morning, she wore a pink sweater and bounded like a happy little deer before crashing into your arms. You remembered that moment for a long time. Your expression suddenly turns awkward. What was her name again? What was it? A strange haze spreads through your mind. The shovel nearly slips from your hand. At that moment, the extraordinary spark in your mind jolts violently. You instantly awaken. Something is wrong. I've been affected. The pioneer immediately warns current condition, mild hypothermia. Pollen poisoning. Your expression changes. Pollen, this damn stuff can travel this far. You immediately activate alternate space to protect yourself. The next moment, you gasp heavily. The extraordinary spark pulses continuously, cleansing toxins from your lungs and brain. You always thought the vines were the flower's greatest danger. Who knew a little pollen in the air could nearly kill you? And this is winter. If it were spring, one breath would probably finish me. You wipe away cold sweat. I have already come this far. I cannot retreat. After learning this lesson, I must be more cautious. Dig for 1 hour, then hide inside alternate space and rest. Progress becomes absurdly slow, but you do not stop because this operation must succeed. Several days later, while buried beneath the snow, you suddenly hear a wolf howling in the distance. A woo! A woo! It is the old wolf. You do not respond. The man-eating flower's territory is too dangerous. You dare not make a sound, and the old wolf does not dare enter. It howls from the high slope for a while, then finally leaves. You know it came looking for you. It returns the next day and howls for the entire daylight period. It comes again on the 3rd day. Animals' feelings are simple. It considers you the most important person in its life. You disappeared, so it is anxious. After a moment of silence, you continue digging. On the 7th day, you finally reach your destination. The man-eating flower's branches and leaves blot out the sky. The snow on the ground here is relatively thin, making the situation even more dangerous. You must be even more careful. Thick, tree-like stems tower overhead. Occasionally, a leaf falls into the snow, hard as a sheet of iron. Before long, a powerful aura presses down. Your breathing tightens. As expected of a true boss, its presence is far stronger than the fire lizards. You slowly clear away the snow with your shovel. At last, you see the fruit. Under the moonlight, each one glitters translucently, hanging heavily from the branches. The nearest cluster is 50 meters above the ground. The explorer displays fruit overflowing with life energy. Most have developed for more than 300 years. The largest fruit has witnessed the rise and extinction of the Meta civilization, and may have matured for nearly 1,000 years. Countless creatures tried to taste it and became fertilizer beneath the man-eating flower's roots. Rare grade natural wonder. Your eyes instantly light up. This journey was worth it. You rub your frozen fingers together, then take out Daedalus's skinning knife. Throwing an excellent grade dagger is risky, so you tie a thin cord around it. Then you focus the extraordinary spark's power into your eyes and right hand. Your target is clear, not the fruit, but the base of the branch. If you sever the entire branch, dozens of fruits will become yours. You lock onto the target, tighten the cord around your fingers, and exert force. The dagger flies like lightning, cutting a precise notch into the branch. Good. Again. Whoosh. The second throw strikes, then the third and fourth. The man-eating flower does not immediately fly into a rage. A plant is not an animal, after all. If it were a beast, it would already be searching for its attacker. But this branch is more like a strand of hair to it. Half a day passes. You carve countless notches into the branch's base, steadily reducing its load-bearing strength. Finally, another perfectly aimed throw pushes the branch to its limit. The next moment, crack. The entire branch snaps. The branch, snow, and fruit crash heavily to the ground. One crystalline fruit rolls directly before you. Your heart pounds. Success. But you do not rush out, because the man-eating flower has awakened. A massive tremor travels through the ground. One after another, pouch-like mouth lined with serrated spikes slowly open. It is searching for an enemy. Without hesitation, you disappear into alternate space. This disturbance was far too great. The man-eating flower searches the surroundings frantically. You hide inside alternate space for 6 hours, emerging only after everything outside becomes completely quiet. Then you retreat into the underground tunnel and lie there for an entire day. Only late at night do you dig forward again and begin collecting the fruit. 1, 2, 10, 42 in total. The smallest are the size of pineapples, and the largest resemble watermelons. Their fragrance continuously fills your nose. Your mouth waters uncontrollably, and you want to bite one open immediately. But this place is unsafe. You place them all inside storage space, then target a flower bud nearby. Its pollen may be useful someday. Holding your breath, you gather your courage and transfer the bud as well. Mission complete. Fruit acquired. Flower bud acquired. This operation has made you rich. Next, you carefully retrace your route. Half a day later, you finally leave the man-eating flower's territory. Standing beyond the danger zone, you look back at the colossal creature. A surge of exhilaration rushes through you. You did not defeat it head-on, but you defeated it with your mind. That is intelligence. That is humanity. Ha ha ha. You turn and sprint home. Time to eat fruit, brother. From a kilometer away, the old wolf hears your footsteps and charges out through the snow, howling. It skids excitedly the entire way, falling, rising, falling again, and getting back up. Finally, it leaps high and nearly knocks you over. It thought you had died. Perhaps it was already preparing to inherit your possessions, but now you have returned alive. Its happiness does not appear fake. You rub its large head. All right, all right. Today, the two of us will eat something good. Snow continues to fall as one man and one wolf walk home through the drifts.